Cheetos. Oh, we're live.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Alchemizing Energy, and we
Yes,
are
sir.
about to start the show. We're going to be bringing darkness to light with Napah Shadah, discussing the Hebrew Israelites, and we're also going to get a little bit into this nature boy thing and the trial and his new guilty verdict.
His new
All right,
guilty
y'all.
verdict. Wait, you're supposed to have the sound bite that goes, Yay!
Yay!
Woo! All right.
Hello, guys. Welcome to Alchemizing Energy, and we have special guest Napah Shadah here. Everybody, give her a round of applause. Great to see you. And
I'm so happy to
so,
be here.
so tell us about yourself, Napah Shadah. I know a lot of people probably know you, but a lot of people probably don't know you.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I am Napah Shadah. I am a content creator as far as YouTube goes. I'm a content creator, but I'm also, first and foremost, a mother, a wife, a friend, a sister, and I'm also a teacher. I am a life cycle doula, which means that I start from fertility, conception, aiding women, midwifery, all the way to end of life issues with family and people who are transitioning. So that's what I do there. But as far as YouTube, I'm a content creator. You either love me or you hate me.
Right, right. And you are part of like you are kind of like really well known and well seen on the Sonetter
Oh yeah.
TV platform. You help a lot. I see you doing a lot of debates with Sonetter, you
Yes,
know.
I'm a debater. I'm a teacher. I have had online classes before. I actually go into the Bible and I teach the Bible in a very unconventional way. That's since childhood, since my mother taught us the Bible on a deeper level, going to the arcane, the deeper, beneath the surface, beneath the surface. I like that. I like that how that came up, beneath the surface. But beneath the surface, the beneath the exoteric, I teach that. I do a lot of debates. I am peace, Moshe Yah. There's my sister. I told her to come on over. Peace to Moshe Yah of Zion. And this is, you're going to get to meet our lovely sister Genesis, but I digress. I teach the Bible. I do debates. I don't teach the Bible only. I do science debates. I do political debates. So yeah, shout out to the HOK and Sonetter Studios. I also worked a little bit before on Killer Priest Podcraft. I am a songwriter and a performer, so I sing. I went on tour with the Wu-Tang. My list is long, long ago and so far away.
Exactly. So you got really into the Christianity growing up, and the biggest thing that I wanted to ask you is like, was your mother a Hebrew Israelite? Like, how did you get into the Hebrew Israelites? That's something that happened later on in life.
Oh, yes, everybody get your tea. So my mother was not a Hebrew Israelite. My mother is a Native American Bible woman, like teacher. She is very much into, she doesn't call it animism, but basically animism, looking for peace to you, the Black Gem, peace and love. And don't forget to drop my channel link. Let me get that. I need the family to come on over and subscribe. I almost forgot because you have some beautiful people in your audience. But I'll do that in a minute. Anyway, my mother, she was always teaching the Bible, always teaching us about nature and what we know as God. She said, God isn't male, God isn't female. She would really go into things that people don't even find out until they get much older, if they even do, that, God is spiritual and just the divine mother, stuff like that. Now, on my father's side, I told this story before, remember, in real life. Shout out to real life
Yeah.
street stuff.
Shout out to Real Life Street Stars in the house.
Yeah, on my father's side, very conventional Catholic, strict Catholic. And my mother was even though she wasn't Catholic, yes, ma'am, we're gonna talk, sis. Um, Even though my mom wasn't Catholic, she let my father's religion be the household religion, as far as she taught us from her side, but with traditions, like we went to Catholic church, we went to Catholic school, we learned, we went through all the Catholic, first confession, first communion, further down, of course, baptized, that comes first, and then catechism, just stuff like that. So we did all of that. And so what I'm saying is I got to learn a lot about Catholicism. I was always entrenched in spirituality on both sides. So all of my brothers and sisters, we always sought out what is, just like a lot of us, like, what is God? Why? Well, I don't understand why this religion is this way, or why do we pray to this? And on my journey, I started to get like very, oh my gosh, you guys, Illuminati, everything you hear right now, I've been known that. I might sound pompous, but like I was just uncovering so much conspiracy stuff. And, now they don't even call it conspiracy theory, but back then, the truth. Oh, thank you, Lex West. Y'all go, let me drop my link for my channel. Go subscribe to my channel. Is that okay? You're all right with that?
Yeah, we can have it on there.
So basically, I was looking at the internet. This is like early YouTube. For me, it was early YouTube, like 2004-ish, and all the way to 2004. Finally, I know that sounds like a long time. 2010-ish, 11-ish, I found the Hebrew Israelites, and I was like, oh wow, my mom was telling me that
You found them online?
I found them on YouTube.
A lot of like people like meet them like through men, like they'll like hook up with a guy and they end up they're kind of whether. So that's interesting. You just found them on your own. Okay.
Yes, I didn't meet them through. I was married at the time, and
wow.
I told my husband at the time, I'm going to drop my link for you guys for my I'm going to join the chat. What does it say? Wow, it's very elaborate. Did you know that, Genesis? It's making me go through all these steps just to join your chat. StreamYard is giving me the whole third degree. Wow, I had to do answer 5 questions. That's wild. So while I wait for that, I was the one who told my husband at the time, hey, I want you to look at this Hebrew Israelite stuff. And I even asked him to meet up with 2 of the guys. And this is where the story gets crazy. My channel is called Rise, everybody. I changed it from my name. It's Reality is Simulated Existence, the Rise channel. Pretty soon I'm going to take off the Reality is Simulated Existence and just have the Rise channel. So please go subscribe to that. Now, where was I? Oh, okay. So this is where it gets good. I don't know where you are. I'm only on the big screen. I can't even see you. Where are you?
I'm here. I'm in the background. Is
this how you do it? Like kind of a Vlad vibe. I got you.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
Okay. So, and like the real life street stars. So,
yeah, and then afterwards, when we start doing when we bring people up, then you'll see me pop up in there.
Got it. I love it. I'm gonna follow your template. All right. So, thank you, Black Jim, the Black Jim. All right. So this is what happened. I was a stay-at-home mom. I forgot to tell you that part. I was married it was about 10 years, almost 11 years. Traditional wife. I didn't even barely have a cell phone. Like I thought, I don't need one. I'm home. I go to the store. I cook. I clean. I take care of our children. I make sure my husband's happy and everything's good. But of course, I was reading the Bible, and he didn't mind that, like studying the YouTube, looking at a lot of spiritual stuff too, by the way. I was finding some wild stuff on YouTube.
Was your husband spiritual?
My husband at the time, he was Catholic, like my dad's side of the family. He still is, Catholic. So he believed in God.
Hispanic.
Oh yeah, and also I have a Hispanic. I have a Latino background. My Hispanic background is my dad's side.
You're Dominican, right?
Afro Latino, yeah, Haitian, Dominican. I don't leave the Haitian out, you know what I'm saying? So I started really getting into the Hebrew thing, IUIC, because I want to be specific. I don't want to just say blanket.
Now, are those the Hebrew Israelites that stand on the corner yelling at everybody with the megaphones?
Okay, that's what I'm about to say. Now,
Okay.
there are all since then, there's so many different factions. There's so many different churches of Hebrews. So I don't want to just broad swipe with a broad brush because it's not fair. But I'm specifically talking about the ones who broke off from One West and then they went to House of David. Quick background if you want to get the deep, and I can give you the whole background. So let me digress from my story and talk about the Hebrews. One was started basically in New York, in Harlem. That's why they call it One West. It was actually an address in Harlem. The group started to break up. I'm just giving the short version. So some of them they left. It was called Israel School of Universal Practical Knowledge. They left that, some of them, and they went to House of David. The ones who went to House of David were, giving you the short of it, some of the leaders were Tahar and Nathaniel Allah, which is called Bishop Nathaniel. Now, Tahar's GMS and Nathaniel Allah is IUIC. Coincidentally,
Was this going on in like the 80s and the 60s and stuff like
they
that?
were doing it in the 80s and the 60s. Well, Hebrew Israelite,
70s and 60s and
Hebrew Israelitism goes all the way back to the 1800s.
But I'm saying the American version of the
But what we know as One West was about the 60s to the 80s. Let's just leave it at that. Okay. So I go and I find IUIC, who, yes, these are the ones, I had to say all that. These are the ones who stand on the corner. They're very, very harsh. Back then, there were no women teachers. When I say that, I mean they taught women, but they definitely were not teaching in the congregation. They damn sure weren't on the internet teaching and debating men. If they did, without a man especially, they were like, oh, she's a horrible woman. Oh, she's a Jezebel. Oh, she's a whore. So it was all male. So when I found IUIC, I was excited. Oh, here's the 12 tribes. Oh, we're the real people of the Bible. I was so pumped up. I was singing the songs. I was following Torah. I was learning. I already knew the Bible, but I was learning more on a Torah-based law following level.
Had you ever heard of the group Ben Ami that went over to Israel? Okay.
Yeah.
Is he connected anyway with these people?
Ben Ami is he's the founder of the congregation in Dimona. So Ben Ami was in Chicago. He was a bus driver, humble, and he said, "You know what? We're the Hebrews, and we're going to go live in the land." So shout out to the late great, rest in power, to Ben Ami. So Ben Ami is not. That's why I said I don't want to bunch everybody in. Ben Ami never did any type of street preaching and all this stuff about, but listen to what happened to the women in Dimona. That happens in every single congregation on the face of the earth. I'm not excusing it, and we can't discuss it, but Ben Ami did not promote, women abuse and things like that. Ben Ami and Prince Asiel are the founders of Dimona. So they are not the ones who are in the street. And all brothers who preach on the street are not evil. When we're talking about church. Now, because I want to keep this clear. If we're going to discuss church, and if we're going to discuss doctrines and dogmas and misogyny, we could talk about all Abrahamic religions are the same. All of them. The men who are in the streets abusing women, they were abusing women as Muslims, and they were abusing women as Christians. They just said, "Oh, wow, now we can abuse women and nobody can say it's wrong for sure because, God says we're Hebrews and da-da-da." Well, that's kind of the same as Islam, but you get what I'm saying? So I'm not just going to say, oh, the Hebrew Israelites got to go. If we're really going to clean house, we need to talk about And I'm not saying get rid of a religion, but we need to talk about all Abrahamic faith. But getting back to the ones who were very, very harmful, the actual churches that I, things that, excuse me, like IUIC, they did the worst. They were the worst. Yes, and I'm not gonna lie. There may be good people in that congregation, but they shouldn't be there. Not from what I know, because I know what they did. So you don't want, do you want, if you want to get into that, in IUIC, when I first went in, my husband at the time, I convinced him to go have a meeting with these two men after I was studying with them a lot. And they told him, yeah, this is how it is. You're the Israelites, so you want to be a part of the congregation. And my husband at the time was like, I don't know about these guys when we were leaving. I'll never forget. We went to meet them at the coffee at the Starbucks in Target. And then I, being the humble and submissive woman, I left and let the men talk. Then I came back and my husband's like, okay, shaking their hands goodbye. And by the way, both of them were police officers. Not saying police. I love the police. Some people don't, but I do. But I'm just letting you know they were both police officers. And there's a pattern of that in IUIC. They have a lot of members who are in law enforcement. So for me, that was a plus. I was like, yeah, these guys are law-abiding citizens. They're cops, and they're following the Lord. They're following them. And so my husband at the time was not really against it at the beginning, but he was like, okay, we're not going to eat pork anymore, shellfish, got it. Oh, you're going to do Sabbath. We're not going to work he was going along with it. However, they kept on doing little things like during the lessons when we were in the class. They would, after the class, they would praise me. Love bombing. Remember that. Take that note. Love bombing. And then they would take me on the side and go, oh, you're such a good sister. It's too bad that your husband's not involved like you are. Red flag. That congregation is known for really, really breaking up marriages. Like they're the most known. And they didn't break my marriage up. I'm going to let you know that. But they tried. They said it got to the point where they were going to do a Passover. And they were like, oh, yes, this is the best event for everybody. And I'm new in the whole faith. And I'm excited. Oh, Passover for the kids. I'm going to dress my daughter this way. My son and my husband are going to wear fringes. I was sewing. And then they told me, your husband can't go to Passover. They said that. They said, your husband can't go to Passover.
Why couldn't he go to Passover?
Because he's not involved in the studies like you are, even though he was always there. They're like, your husband can't. That's right, the Black Jim. They're like, even now I'm feeling the wave of, God, emotional. My heart was crushed. Wow. Girl, when I say I wrote like 5 emails, I'm writing you a 5-page letter, not 4. I was writing pages of begging, pleading. Oh, my husband is this. He's great. He loves it. And I even said, I went to my husband he was basically through with all of it, but he's a mellow guy with stuff. I was like, please talk to them. And he said, okay. He sat down and talked to them. They were trying to they told him, they gave him like a time limit. I think it was 30 days, or they said, if you don't show us that you really are devoted, you won't be going to Passover. Then they told me, if he doesn't straighten up, you're not equally yoked, and you're going to have to find a brother who is equally yoked with you. God is my witness. And you want to hear something amazing? This was back in 2011. I didn't talk about it till maybe 2012, 2013. This is before. Wow.
So they want to break you up with one of the with their husband to make you have to be with one of them.
Yes, and let me tell you, nobody believed me besides GMS and a couple people. Nobody believed me when I told them that story. Now it's all out that they break marriages up, but back then they're like, "You're lying, you're wicked." So I went to GMS and I told them, "Oh, well, wait, I was still in IUIC, so." They started to just talk crazy about stuff, just things that just didn't make sense and telling us crazy stuff. And I would ask more and more questions, and I studied more, and they would be doing, I can't explain to you like well, I can. Like, because I was really outspoken and I was one of the women who really knew the Bible, and I would ask questions. I was like, well, wait a minute. Because they would try to say some stuff, and then I'd ask and say something, and they'd be like, some women out here. They were talking to me though, and I knew they were talking to me.
Right.
And even in their newspaper, like they had a newspaper article that they would put out, publish, and they would, it was like they would direct it to the stuff. It was creepy. Like the stuff that I would ask, for instance, back then. Oh, also they had a women's group, and it was led by the leader's wife, and they always were like Judah was the only, like, even though they didn't say it, Judah was like the top, and everybody was not like beneath them. And if you weren't like of the if you were of the 10 tribes, like if you were the 10 northern, they call you the northern tribes.
Mhm.
Like if you were Hispanic or Native American, if you were of the 10 tribes, they would treat us lower. And in the group, when they found out that I didn't even know, they said, you're not Judah, you're Simeon. Everything changed how they treated me, like, and every woman, like they treat us like they were their handmaids.
So they
And
break everybody down into like these tribes of like
yeah,
the different tribes in the Bible, and then once you get figured out which one you are, you get treated according to how you whatever that section is.
yeah, there were 12, there are 12 tribes in the doctrine, in the church, all pretty much all Israelites, because the Bible says there's 12 tribes. So they, in that group in IUIC, if you were not Southern, which is Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, and those were considered the Black Americans, Haitians, and Jamaicans, and like anybody from who's Black from the Caribbean, that's not a Latino Caribbean, like Dominican Republic is Latino, but they wouldn't consider that Southern tribe, that's why I don't get into that 12
It's kind
tribe.
of elitist. Hey, Fame, nice. Thank you for joining. But it's almost like an elitist. Like, okay, well, we're the best ones, right? We're the chosen ones that came over here.
100%. And so, that didn't bother me too much, but I start to notice that. And then I just started looking for stuff on my own, because they just taught shit that didn't work. Like telling us you're going to take the chip, ridiculing people who said we don't want to take the chip, because GMS was at the time teaching the chip is the mark of the beast. So they were more thinking about their competition with GMS than, okay, why would we even tell people to take even people who aren't in religion are against taking a microchip implant. But they just taught, and then the last straw. Okay, so fast forward, the last straw, the whole thing about the Passover, how they said wanted me to not be married anymore, talking about you're going to take the chip, ridiculing, telling us not to look at any other stuff on the internet, don't look at any other camps teachings. That bothered me. And then the last straw is we were in a lesson, we were in a class. Oh, another thing they used to do, which was really a ritual, they would make us watch them eat like a Passover meal before class. I'm gonna talk about that later on, y'all. I can't get into that. But they would make us sit there and watch them eat before class. Like, if you were there,
All the women and the children, or just whoever
if you
like,
weren't a part of that, like them, where they were, like that group,
that the tribe or whatever.
yeah. And it's almost just like what the Bible says, how Paul said, I don't appreciate some of you eating and others are not eating. It was exactly that. It was like, are they trying to like give us a playbook, a page right out of the epistle from Paul? So I was like, I felt even back then, because my whole, I was already like conspiracy, like, no, 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 no,
Right. What's going on? Right.
yeah. And my spidey sense was like, my aluminum foil hat was like tingling. So I was like, why are they making us watch them eat?
Well, you know, before you get deeper into that, there's some people in this chat that might not know who we're talking about, So I wanted to like just show, like, I'll give you an example of who the Hebrew Israelites, like how they, do and things like that on the streets when they're uh when they're doing their
Yeah,
thing.
well, pick the right ones though. Don't just be picking anybody random. Okay. Because now you're put right here, you're pulling up. You're pulling up. It looks like
and I got kids. I'm pro-created. I got my job. I got my job. I got my job.
Is this ISUPK?
Hey, get back, man. Get back. Get back, man.
Oh, this is HOI. Okay, well, I need to get some background on this.
Okay, so I'm not sure what the difference of these ones are versus the.
Well, I do. That's Zabak.
You got your ass
And when I talked about House of David, Zabak is one of the.
They will not. I mean, because you think that they'll be out there preaching the Bible, but if you start going back and forth with them, they will. I seen one where they just kind of went in on somebody and was saying, "You're a S, you're a S, you're a." They all started chanting.
Okay, that's GMS, but we need to make distinctions because I don't like I said.
These are not the ones that you're talking about. Okay, so
no, because what you see right now is these people are attacking their group. Now I'm not saying these are angels, HOI, but Zabak typically doesn't do the whole "you're a slut" to the women. He just teaches people.
And it seems like, okay, Kendrick Lamar is a group of the one that
he's
you
an
were in.
IUIC.
Along Kodak Black, and I think did Kanye West join this too, the IUIC?
No, I don't think so.
And Nick Cannon, I think he's part of it as well.
Nick Cannon is more like a free. He's not in a camp, but he believes that he's an Israelite. Yeah.
Right. So okay. So but basically they'll march. They'll is this the same group or is this a different one?
Now that's the group I'm talking about. That's IUIC.
Okay. So
welcome to BeMoreNews.com. The news.
It looks like IUIC. Let me make sure. No, wait a minute. No, that's not IUIC. Wait, I gotta look closer.
But as you can see, these people are deep. Like whatever it is,
that's IUIC. That's Sakari. That's Sakari, I think.
Okay.
I gotta look closer.
Yeah.
I'm trying to look at their symbol. It might not be Sakari. I gotta look closer.
But it's similar. It's something similar.
Well, this is the thing I want to tell you because they all look similar because they all broke off from One West. Like Sakari is a faction. It came out of GMS. GMS came from One West. So yeah.
So I just wanted to show like how like this is like a big group. It's not like something that to just think it's something when I think that one guy he is a basketball player and he said something about the Jews or whatever. Kyrie Irving. Those were the IUIC was the ones that came and like marched and
they supported him. See, that's the thing. I'm talking about my experience with the group as an individual, but we can't deny this is the complexity of it. They do support our people. You know what I mean? So that's where I'm torn. But that doesn't mean they get to abuse women and men just because they support our people. Yeah, that's right, girl. That's right.
So on one hand, they're very supportive. They're organized. They all got the same shirt on and outfit. They're dressed alike, and they got the organization down. But when it comes to how they treat the women, it could be kind of brutal.
Well, talking about, let me get in. I was going to get into the story's long, but it's strong. I want to tell you. So when the last straw with IUIC is they said, okay, we're going to go to the wilderness. See, we're not supposed to celebrate birthdays according to their doctrine. Not all Hebrews, but their doctrine. No birthdays, no Christmas, no Easter. They said, if you're a child in the wilderness, that's according to scripture, like they're talking about prophecy. In the wilderness, if your child asks for a birthday party or Christmas, you're going to hold your child, you parents, and then one of you is going to hold the child. The other one's going to take a sword, and Jesus is going to be standing over watching, supervising. I would never lie. And you're going to run the sword through the child. That's when I was done. I was
what? Like kill the child because they said have a birthday? Oh my God.
Yes, for asking for Christmas and birthday. And that's in that very class. I was like, no, this is not.
How many times does this really happen?
That one guy did this. Well, he wasn't IUIC, but he was a Hebrew Israelite. I forgot his name, but his famous case where he killed the little boy, the 4-year-old boy, and one of his wives, because he said the boy had a spirit of homosexuality on him, a 4-year-old boy. And so that was not IUIC. I'm going to repeat it, but even if it wasn't IUIC, that is the same spirit, like you said. Like, and Nathaniel Allah taught a class saying, you know, he was like, well, this guy was talking crap to his parents, and the car flipped, and his whole top of his head came off, and he died. So see, God will kill you if you're disrespecting your parents. According to scripture, it says if you want to have a long life, respect your mother and father. And those are wise words, but they twisted it like, oh, your children must die if they don't, you know. And think of talking to fragile minds like that, like people who already came from child abuse and and now they're child abusers. Imagine them hearing that, like, oh, it's okay if I kill my baby. You know what I mean? So I left. Then they started stalking me. They sent a sister to sit in front of my apartment with the baby. It was weird. Well, it was an apartment. It was a condo. And they just did crazy stuff. Like, they followed us, taking pictures of us. They would call me. Oh, I forgot to say, they knocked on my door. That's the first scariest thing. They knocked on my door, the two of the guys that I recognized, and they said, come out, move your car. We're tow truck guys. And I said, no. I looked through the people and I was like, no, you're not. And I was like, they're trying to kidnap me? I really thought they were. So fast forward, people laughed at me when I said that. Fast forward, they were trying to kidnap women. And then you hear about what happened to Joy, oh my gosh, Joy Morgan in England, how one of the IUIC members took her, kidnapped her, and essayed her, raped her, and left her dead in the woods. So,
what? So they used to kidnap women. And
well, this is the thing. Some of them who are part of it that would never do something like that, they say, oh, that's wrong. We don't do that. But it keeps showing up like, you did this to me. Why'd you want me to come out of the house at 11 p.m. at night? 2 men. Why? Why are you telling me to come out and move my car? They weren't tow truck drivers. They were IUIC members. Why are girls in Canada saying that you told them you're going to put them in boxes and take them and kidnap them and take them to the woods? Why did Joy Morgan get kidnapped by one of the IUIC guys and taken to the woods and dumped in the woods? Why are all these patterns going on? If you're saying, oh, no, but you have people coming in your congregation who are doing these things.
So do you think that someone's ordering them to do this, or do you think some people just get fanatical and end up doing something?
With me, someone was ordering them to do it, because that's what cults do. If you break away from a cult, they either first try to sweet talk you back, and when they see you're not going to come back, then they start threatening you. It's all cults do that. Yeah.
So do they arrange marriages, or do they like?
Yeah, they arrange marriages. They were trying to arrange a marriage for me. And then when I left them, I thought, okay, good, I'm gone. I was so happy that this brother in GMS was listening to my story. They were sharing my information that I was, because they were rivals. And they were like, this sister has a story to tell. And I was telling the truth. And it went viral in the Hebrew community. I was like, okay. I always had a good reputation as a Hebrew sister. I didn't start getting attacked till after I was leaving. I left. And then really, once I went on the HOK. But anyway, I digress. So in 2012-ish, 13, I started learning from this brother in GMS. He started teaching me. It wasn't anything, and people have filthy minds. They're like, oh, you pass around. No, he was just teaching me. But the more he taught me, other brothers knew, okay. Oh, and also I was separated from my husband. I forgot to tell you that part. I separated. I was still married.
So they were successful in getting you guys to separate with each other.
No, we separated after I left that cult. We separated in 2013. So I left 2012, and then we separated but they didn't. I'll tell you this. They wanted me to marry one of them. I won't lie. The way I was with the Bible, my ex-husband, I was like too hard on him.
Rigid, yeah.
Yeah, and then I was like, I'm separating. I was like, I'm separating from you because you're not doing,
not following the Bible. Exactly.
Yeah, and let's be real, that's wrong.
Do you think that that's a part of like the programming that the cult did by
well, the programming was that they're telling me God wants it. But I had already left. I wasn't dealing with the IUIC anymore. It's just once that happened and they said, let's kill our kids. My ex-husband, my husband at the time was like, see, well, hell no. You know what I mean? Like he was like, no more Hebrew stuff. But me, I was like, oh, it's just IUIC. Let me go find out more about all the other churches. And then he was like, no. But that wasn't the only reason my marriage ended. Okay, I'm going to be real. That wasn't the only reason my marriage ended. But I decided, and everybody's like, oh, her Mexican husband. First off, he's Puerto Rican and Mexican. Shout out to the Puerto Rican and Mexicans out there. I have no problem with, remember, I have a Latina background. And even if I didn't, I don't have a problem with people being with Hispanic people at all. I don't have a problem being with anybody. But I'm talking about with the Bible and the way what I was in, remember? Because in the doctrine, I could be with the people of the 12 tribes. So I want to point that out. But people on the internet like, oh, your Mexican husband left you.
But there are people that are in that have white wives, right? What they call Esau, ESAU or whatever.
Yeah, but let me say this though. That's they don't treat them right. If you're talking about, I'm not talking about all. If you're talking about one West, you're gonna have a problem if you have a white husband or wife, because you're gonna be told that they're gonna die and go into captivity
constantly,
all the time. That's another reason why I had to get away from that. The whole thing. When I say get away, I still believe in I still follow a lot of the Torah, like dietary laws, because they're good for you. But if I see somebody eating some shrimp, I'm not like, oh, God's going to kill you. No, God's not going to kill you. That was
one of the biggest questions that I had was that, okay, if you guys are Hebrew Israelites, why are you reading the Bible, the New Testament?
Because that's part of the Bible. The whole Bible is
but
Jesus is a Hebrew.
What? Wasn't okay. Like if you're considered, when I think of a Hebrew Israelite, I think of the Jews, right? So they were more the Old
but the
Testament,
Jews
had their own books, like their own group of books that they read, right?
Well, there are Hebrews who they're called Torah only. That's why I said there's so many different, and they don't believe in the Messiah, Jesus. But there are Hebrew Israelites who do know that Jesus is here. And did you know there are also Jews for Jesus in Israel? So it's just different churches. But I do want to make it clear that when I did separate from my ex-husband, it was because he didn't want to do anything Hebrew anymore. And I didn't divorce him. I separated. And then this brother in the Hebrews started teaching me the Bible. He knew I was married, and he's like, you can't marry anybody. You can't be with any man. You just got to learn the Bible until you get divorced. And so once I did get divorced in 2015, that guy was like, okay, you could be betrothed to me. I want to talk about betrothal.
What is betrothal?
In betrothal, in the Hebrew Israelite cult, you meet someone and then he claims you and he says, I want you to be my wife. And then you accept, and then you stay like a courtship for a certain period of time. And then once you finish courting, you get married. It's like an engagement.
For how long?
Depends. My betrothal with him lasted a year. And I never met up with him. I never met him. So he just released me from betrothal.
Wow. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Now GMS, because I've researched. Actually, they were the main ones that were the most brutal on the streets when they do their street thing. So it's interesting to say that they were the kinder ones versus the other ones. Like they were nice to the women versus.
Believe it or not, on the surface, they're complete a-holes to women, but in their personal lives, they are it's really sad to me. They are can you say no sexually?
No,
I
no
never.
betrothal.
Oh, for the betrothal. I could have said no. Yeah, yeah, that's not a problem. If you say no, there's no issue there. Um, they move on to, you know, they might be salty, but there's no issue there. But once you're with them, you can't just say I want to go, because then they'll ostracize you. They'll say you're a whore. She left him. You can't leave once you're betrothed.
Once you leave a betrothal, you're now labeled as a
Yeah, you have to ask him, like, please let me be released. And then he'll be like, fine. You know, it's sad. I'm laughing because this shit's funny to me. Cause
you are betrothed.
no, it's
Is it
called
like
put me away. Put me away.
you've been put away? You know, does he make a like announcement? Like, is it like a
Yeah.
that was has been passed, that one has been put away?
He'll announce it so other brothers could, then you could court someone else, But I never met this guy. And a lot of women are the same. They do see, they only talk to you about the Hebrew Israelite community. That's different. Now, I'm not praising them, but I'm telling the truth. Like, you know how these men do revenge porn? The men outside of it.
Yeah.
That is a total. I mean, you'll be in big trouble as a guy if you do that in the community. Like, you'll be really, really, really in trouble. Like, because they're not, because they're worried about the women. They don't give a damn about them. It's because you've caused a brother to sin. You know what I mean? You get what I'm saying? You caused another man to look on your wife's nakedness.
Wow. Okay.
So it has nothing to do about the woman. It really doesn't. Zero. It's that they don't want you, the men. How could you let me look at her nakedness? Now the Most High is going to destroy me. That's what they think. So,
this is like just 100% patriarchy.
Oh, hell yes. But excuse my language. No, just kidding. But I do want to talk about how the betrothal. I want to go a little bit more about what happened. Once I wasn't betrothed to that guy anymore, it wasn't just like do. The reasons were I was arguing too much, and I was doing. By the way, I was doing videos for him, like not saying I was making it up, because women, we can't really teach in the community. So I would do the video and I would give it to him and he would put it out. And they were like, oh, brother, yes, you have the spirit of the Most High on you, brother. And it was,
you're doing you're like the person behind all of it, right? You're doing all the research and everything.
Yeah,
and he's so taking funny. All the credit.
I mean, yeah, so that was funny.
But that's just how it is in life. I mean, when Oya was up here, she was talking about how even Dr. Malachi York, how it was all women that were just pretty much writing all his books and all this stuff and doing all the research. Yes. So it sounds like they all kind of follow the same thing.
Yes, the feminine divine is a very powerful thing that it's like a commodity to many, but we're in a paradigm spiraling up. They say shift, where the mother, the feminine divine will no longer be taken over by only. This is what happened. The mother, we have the father, the mother, and the child. And the mother she's been giving so much to us as women, and we've been doing what she does, giving it to the men. And I'm talking about in order for the people who are Abrahamic. So the Most High Father, the God, the Almighty that you say is a male force, is giving the mother permission, like, don't give it to the sons anymore. Don't give it to the daughters and have them give it to the sons. Just let the daughters keep it. And we're taking it back because we got to do, when Princella, I just want to say, when Princella was like, oh, men don't, but we're doing it in a healthy way because we love our sons, husbands, brothers, but they haven't done well because they make these cults. They make these cults and they destroy lives with religion and cults. But what were you going to say? Go ahead.
No, and I was going to say, like, even in like the Abrahamic Bible, it says, the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. It doesn't say the Father, Son, and the mother, the mother. So I'm not. Is the Holy Spirit the mother, or
what? It says it it does in these. in the King James, where he's like a witch hunting, not going against homosexuals, but he's a witch hunting homosexual misogynist. There's the key. He took it all out. Oh, take that out. In the Syriac, I'm talking about the ancient language and the ancient writing from what we know as the Gospels. Jesus, who we know as Jesus, says, the Holy Spirit, my mother, he clearly says it. He says, the Holy Spirit, my mother, I just got chills. I love it. He says, the Holy Spirit, my mother, grabbed me by my head and picked me up and placed me where I need to be. So throughout time, they just kept, oh, take that out. Oh, even parts of the Bible, the Sister Moshe showed some stuff, and there's other things in the Bible that talk about the feminine. Talk about, instead of it saying lioness in a lot of parts of the Bible, it says lion. But it says, clearly says lioness. So my point is, we're don't be afraid, my brothers and my loves. We are going, we're getting it back.
Right.
Because I want to ask you something. Can you name one destructive cult that's been led by women? Just one religious cult.
Well,
there aren't any.
Yeah.
Worldwide. There's not one single, I'm talking about where you were, Kevorkian, Jim Jones, Dr. York, Nature Boy. Should I keep going? All these Hebrew Israelite factions. We could keep going. The Mormonism, not just that. Even Abrahamic, cult, the religion, Islam, Catholicism. All of it is male, and it's destruction. I control you. God told me to tell you, and you didn't listen to me, so you're going to die. Where's the women?
Crazy.
Where are the women doing that?
Well, they're just regurgitating what they're being told by,
men. But yeah, I'm saying
and it's what's sad is that we're the backbone of all these organizations, if you actually think about it. So really, are we backing them up and empowering them?
They still have control over the mind of the woman. What I'm saying is, you won't find a group like Genesis, Napah, and Moshe Yah and the Black Gem started this organization 5 years ago, and now 1,500 families have been broken up. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to find anything like that in history, even in modern history. Where will we look? Let's look through history. Where are all these women cults that have destroyed all these lives? Oh, I can't believe it's men telling stories. And then she made me take my clothes off and said, God told her to. No, that's only yes, I got to say it. I love you. Am I losing friends? I don't want to lose friends.
It's okay. It's okay. But you know what? If you lose friends, we need to have the right people up in here, because, that's the truth, bottom line,
Yeah. And it's not feminism. It's not male hate, male bashing. We gotta, we have to learn. Does that mean that men can't lead churches? No, that doesn't mean that at all. Does that mean men can't start movements? Of course. Look, I just named.
You know what? I also think that when men are enrolled, they do lead with fear. The majority of the teachings have like a spooky type of a thing to it, like that. And it's gonna rain down on you. It's always like this fear and this war kind of like way of going about things.
Yeah, and then there's always. I did a lesson on my channel. I took it down, I think, because I started going into something else. I hate when I do that. And I didn't want that to be a part of it. But I said, God, the core of what is divine. So if people don't want the word God, the divine is based on sex and food, eating, taking in, consuming. Why? Because when you take it in, what do? You put it back out. When you eat something, your energy, you put it back out, you live. We put out life. We don't suck life in. I mean, eating, it's like the fuel, but my point is, God, the concept of God is food and sex. And also what's similar, what are the two things we need to survive? Our basic thing. We need food. I'm not putting water involved in food. When I'm talking about imbibing, consuming. We need food and we need sex. Sex is so we can keep living, we can thrive. So isn't that interesting?
Right. Well, the first thing that God said was be fruitful and multiply.
Thank you. And you know what's amazing? Who Y'all, come on. I'm getting the spirit on me. Let me have it. Let me go. Let me run. Genesis.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Who's the first one when you think of, and don't talk about my daddy's a good cook. Don't play with me. Who cooks, who makes the meals, and who, when you think of sex, who's having the baby? That's the sex. Oh, well, men and women have sex. Stop. You know, the one, when you think of sex, anybody in society, even if you're heterosexual, boom, woman comes to mind. Why? Because that is the fruit. That's the one who holds the result. Like if after sex is done and you see somebody pregnant, you know sex. Get what I'm saying? You
Right.
see a pregnant woman, that's a representation of sex. So isn't it interesting that the feminine divine is also linked to the cooking, the food, and the sex? The first food we receive is from the breast. Y'all, I'm getting into it. That's why they don't like.
Wow, that's deep. Wow. Yeah, exactly. See, that's why they you were too dangerous. That's why they had to like quiet you up because
Yeah, they would. Oh, they started.
Why would they
coming
not
to
want
me.
women to teach if they know that we could teach from such of a intellectual level because they want to take the credit for it so they can have the glory? Is that what it is?
Well, you know, the thing about us, another part of our nature, it's fulfilling for us to give them something to take credit for. Now, hear me out. We don't want to be exploited, and that's why women are easily exploited. Are men exploited? I love you, brothers. You know there are exploited men, but I'm talking about the majority. Okay, women are easier exploited in the cults. And by the way, I'm talking about cults. In cults, women are the first exploited. Did you know that 70% of cults are made up of women?
Wow.
70%. That's facts. They might have
I was surprised to see the Jim Jones, how many African American women were a part of that.
Why do you think? They're the ones that are so. Now we're talking about native people. We're talking about people close to what we call as indigenous, close to the earth. And I'm not saying that my lovely, amazing white, so-called white brothers and sisters, it's not about skin color. It's about suffering and being close to your roots. And did you know the more you suffer, the closer you get to your roots, right? The more you suffer, you start to say, why am I suffering? And that's when you start taking inventory of what's going on with you. Like, what the hell? Why is this happening? And then you start doing some inventory of self. So why was it mostly Black people? Now, number one, he targeted them. But even if he targeted them, they could have rejected him because they wanted the hope. They were ready to be spiritual. They were ready to be better. They wanted they wanted the love of God. And that's what most women do. We come in, and men, but I'm talking about how women are taken advantage of. We come in saying, I'm ready. I'll bow down to the Lord. I'll bow down to God. I'll bow down to Jesus. I'll bow down to the man. I want to be whole. But it never, what happens? The people on the other end, my sisters call me, people on the other end, they're doing this. This is what they're doing with like the wolf, with the fork and the knife and yeah, come on in. People are coming in as the sheep. And it's always been like, no, in some parts of the consciousness community, they say, oh, you don't want to be a sheep, and you don't want to be a sheep. And I mean all consciousness. I'm not just saying Black consciousness community. Oh, don't be a sheep. But these, to come into something, you have to come in as, open, pure, not guarded. You want to come in, well, spiritually.
You have to be a sheep in order to be a shepherd. The sheep
There you
makes the
go.
best shepherd. And here's another question for IUIC: is there a leader of that group, or is it like just multiple factions with small?
Oh no, IUIC is all about Bishop Nathaniel Allah, Bishop Nathan.
So they have bishops.
He's one bishop, but let me tell you, I was so brainwashed. Oh my gosh, I love Khalil Omani. Oh, I love him. Peace to my brother, because I just felt something. I remember him saying it. I don't want to get emotional right now. Oh my gosh, I was so brainwashed. When I left, you know what I told myself? Bishop Nathaniel, he didn't know that they were doing these things. He didn't know. He wouldn't have let this happen. I was so brainwashed by him. But then when I figured it out, then when I broke away from them and started following GMS, I was like, oh, so Tahar knows Nathanya Allah and Gabar and Aramlab. These are the leaders of GMS. So then I got on their vibration. And even to this day, I'm going to let you know, I obviously speak out against GMS, but there's something still in me. And you'll find this if you've broken out of a cult. And it's not bad. It doesn't make you weak. It doesn't make you crazy, but it is something you have to work on. Even now, there's a part of me that has this, not a fear, but a love, like a parent. But that, think if you have a parent that's bad, like a parent who tried to kill you, or
you still have an affinity for that person, even though they probably were wrong.
I'm not drawn to him. I don't have an affinity, but when I see him, or even while I speak in them, I'm conscious about doing it. Even if it's negative, I'm conscious, like, oh, I'm going against them. I don't feel like with IUIC, I'm like, yeah, to hell with them. That's completely gone. Not Nathanya Allah, even, because I broke it. Like, I worked on it. And now with GMS, I've worked on it. However, I can't deny that they're not like, GMS isn't like IUIC. They really hate women on the surface, but they don't hate women. They're brainwashed. That's the best I can say it. Even the leaders are brainwashed about women. Like, they really think women are evil. The King
I
James.
remember seeing them on the street, the GMS, and they were talking
they're
about
the ones who said you're a slut. You can show that. You can show that.
I'm trying to find it. I couldn't find it, but GM, you know what? I'm gonna look for it. You know what? They were. I saw them on the street, and they were talking about there was going to be this war, and that they were going to be ripping off the heads of women and all kind of stuff.
Not ripping the heads off. That's San Francisco.
Oh, okay.
While they grape a woman, they're They're just gonna cut her throat just enough while they're graping her, where she's not dead, but they're cut her throat while they're graping her.
Yeah, like they're looking forward to this time to happen. They're looking.
But guess what? Guess what? The Bible says that you will be able to do these things in Isaiah, but the way they're interpreting it, it's not saying you can do these things. Did I just contradict myself? No. But as a person who has a higher understanding of what is going on in the Bible, you know, all just the terrible things that happen to us as people, Native American people, of course, Africans. I mean, I'm not just talking about worldwide. People say, well, that happened to everybody. No, I'm talking about chattel slavery, talking about we're a peculiar people. Well, the suffering was unnecessary. Can I talk about that for a second? The suffering was unnecessary. Like, why are you even doing this shit? Why are you passing out blankets with smallpox? You get it? Why are you taking people's children and torturing them? Why are you killing men in front of their women? It's all for programming. So what I'm trying to get at is they are fighting. They're angry. They're hurt. And they're saying, the white man did this to us. We're going to do this to them. So they're saying God said it's okay. But no, if you really think about it, why is it okay for us to be savage and heartless and callous like our enemy?
That brings in that manly spirit.
Okay, this is Jim and Jim.
In that manly spirit, staying away. Those of you that have women, staying away from your woman for a while, man, so you can get back in touch with your man. I'm gonna bring the scripture out here. This is the book of Ecclesiastes 42.
You want to take this off the
12
screen?
to 13. Behold, not everybody's beauty, and sit not in the midst of women.
Take it down.
For from garments cometh a moth, and from women wickedness. Yeah. Right.
You hear that?
In other words, you got to
Women
limit the time that you're around your woman, man.
Yeah, the kind of guy that's always up under your woman. Let me tell you something. When you up under a woman or with women, it makes you.
Rastafari embrace the love,
Devil.
I lost respect for all you. When money
Look at this damn slut. Look at that man. Look at this damn slut. You see this damn slut? You see this damn slut? Spit down on it.
fucking time. I consider you fast.
She's a slut. She's a slut. She's a slut. She's a slut. You're 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 a slut.
Okay, can I, before you say anything, let me tell you something, okay? Let me talk to you. We can go and talk about Hebrews, and this is a problem with all these men. You see how beautiful she was? Did you feel the fire? Did you feel her power? Yes. Did you feel it?
Man, when I saw that, I had tears in my eyes. When I first saw that, this is about almost 10 years ago that this video came out. And man, I had tears in my eyes.
Even now, I felt like crying, but I loved her. I loved her because back then I had already been in before I saw that. I was already in, and that was one of the things that pushed me out. There's little things that kept pushing me out, and you sisters, you will be, I love you because you're going to love me. You're going to love me when I tell you, you're going to love me more. I left because I hated how they treat women. They hate women. And they said to me, I argued, why do you think I talk about the rape doctrine? Why do you think I teach and break that down real? Tell our sisters that, yes, the Bible does say that. And they say, well, why do you like the Bible? Don't worry about what I'm doing. The Bible does say in Deuteronomy 22:28 that could happen. And I also say to them, I would say to them, well, I would argue back and forth because I would tell them just because it was a law doesn't mean that it was righteous. That's what they would argue with me about. And I was still following and listening. And then I was easing my way out little by little. You know how it is with the cult. Then they came in the last straw. Doop. Everything broke when they said they did a whole 2-3 hour lesson saying to sisters, it's okay if you're a prostitute. GMS. If you can't find a husband, it's okay for you to be a prostitute. That was it.
So 1 minute they want to call you a SULUT, and then the next minute they want to say it's okay to be a what are we doing?
It's righteous. Hold on. They said it's righteous. I left. I was already, you know what I mean, like asking questions, arguing, oh, you're rebellious, you're being more rebellious. And I was like, wait a minute. I saw this video. I sent it to the man I was betrothed to at the time. I was like, what is this? You don't understand. Look how rebellious she wasn't rebellious. That was God. She had the spirit of that's what God does. And by the way, let me tell you about this whole cover up so they could see a little titty. That was a piece of life. Just because men, yes, they're sexy, but just because a man looks at it as filthy and he wants to do filth to it, he doesn't see it as lovely and a woman that can give life to a child and he can rest there and feed there, whatever he wants to do. He doesn't see it as that. I'm talking about certain men that call her slut. They see it as filthy because they love porn. Another thing they teach in GMS, that watching porn is fine. You can watch all the porn you want. In fact, they encourage it at times. You heard him saying, separate from your woman. He'll say, go get a, they encourage this. Go get a prostitute. God, they know I'm not lying. Go get a prostitute. You don't need a woman. Just watch porn. Those are sexual deviants.
Right. That's a demon right there. Like that's a spirit right there. And then,
Well,
but the thing that baffled me when I watched that video is how many people joined in on that chant. I'm like, wow.
no, just them, just their congregation. They're like mindless drones. Listen, if you've been raised in a household where your mother abused you and you didn't have any secure attachment, well, most people, sadly, in certain generations, especially of our people, have a lot of trauma like that. And then you have women. They say, "Oh, these women are manly. These women don't want to listen." Listen to what? Abuse? Listen to you telling me, gaslighting me, leading me the wrong way, and then disrespecting me in front of
Then he was saying, don't be up underneath a woman all the time, because I'm like, dude, what?
But be up under a man, his hairy butt cheek. Sit up under his hairy butt cheek and let him be up on you. Okay, gotcha. Guess what? Wrong advice. So the point is that I say that's when I finally left. When I was like, I'll never forget it. I was walking into a restaurant, and I was looking at that lesson, and I was texting the guy. I was like, I'm done. I said, I'm done. Now you're teaching prostitution is okay. I argued with you about the girls past the flower of her age. I said, as a midwife, as a doula, I know that you can't have sex with little girls who are not ready. You could, most of the time they're damaged and they become infertile.
I've heard about stories about them saying that at a certain age, that they'll be able to be with a woman is a pretty young. I think that some of you were even charged with being with a woman like about 15 years old.
No, not them, not at all. But they're not. No one was charged, but there have been men who have taken wives who are underage. Now, HOI had a case where a man was like in his 40s and he was the elder of a 16-year-old. And then when she turned 18, he married her. But with GMS, they are the ones who said you can get a girl 12 years old, but then they changed it. They damaged their reputation because they said, we won't be doing that. We won't be doing that until the kingdom. No, you won't.
That sounds like the like Islam. Oh, you get 12 versions in heaven and whatever.
Yeah, but you know what? That's all these religions. They want young girls. Like in Islam, they say you can marry 9-year-olds. In Mormonism, they want to get little girls all the time. It's just sick. It's sick.
Right. So, Nature Boy. So here's the thing. So,
I just want to wrap my story up though.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
No, real quick. And then I just left GMS, and then I started doing a radio, blog talk radio with a brother, and he was a very prominent figure in GMS. But then we started doing all this research. We had informants working with the police. We were finding out all this information that was just like, whoa, this is crazy, the crime and stuff. And then I started getting death threats, and he, so I stopped doing the radio show. And so then I ended up being quiet for a while. And then I went into the SWVL debate league. And right out of that, I met Saw Netter, and now I'm in the HOK doing that, fighting crime. No, just kidding.
Right. You do a lot of debates. You do a lot of debates against the Hebrew Israelites. So you do a lot of debating with Christians and also Egyptians. And everybody, it's really biblical based. You know your stuff. You know your words. You know your research. And I think that's commended. You don't have a lot of women in that debate space. It's always mostly men that are doing those debates. But then you be eating them up.
I do. I have to be honest. All praises to the Most High, unfathomable God, and the Mother, the Father, the Mother, and the Child. I say which is the Father, the Holy Spirit, and they say the Savior. But let me say this: yes, we need more sisters to come in and start teaching. We don't need us to come in, men. We will come in order. sometimes you got to ease them in. And, when you have children, you got to mix it with a little sugar. Here, take this medicine. And then they say, oh, mommy, you gave me medicine. Anyway, but I love debating. I have a new lesson coming out. Moses, the Kemetic bloodline in what we know as Moses. I'm really showing a lot of esoteric spiritualism of other what they call paganism, like Sumerian, Kemetic, even Indo-European. In that book, the Bible is one of the most amazing books ever. Thank you. Let me finish that up. Thank you.
Well, I wanted to say that Nature Boy, who just now got arrested and also tried, and now he has been found guilty, and we're waiting on what his sentencing will be. He took a lot of like teachings from the Hebrew Israelites as well as Dr. York, and it's interesting. I'm interviewed two people from both these clans as well as a little bit of Islam. So he just was like mixing everything, a little bit of a Hermetic principles, and so what do you think about that whole thing? Listen, hey, Black Jim, I would love for you to come up if you could.
Oh, he got life. Woo! Don't make me start
life. He got life. Oh my God. Oh Lord.
Don't. Yeah, we know. Oh, praise the Almighty Father. So I have a background with that whole, Nature Boy thing, if you want me to talk about that.
Yes, please do.
So I am a part of the HOK, and I was talking to Sonetter one day, and he was like, Napah, guess who I'm going to interview? I said, who? He said, Nature Boy. He wants me to interview him because he has this new thing where he's calling himself 3 God. And I was like, Nature Boy. And I didn't like him anyway, but I didn't know how horrible he was treating these women. So he's like, you can join the interview. And I was like, okay, fine. So every time I'm going to do an interview, I take it upon myself to start researching the person. When I start seeing everything that, oh my God, all the things he did, I mean, I knew some things, but really looking, I contacted Sonetter. I was like, we have to expose this guy. And Sonetter didn't even know either, really. And I said, Sonetter, you got to see what he's doing to these people. I don't know why no one besides the T, shout out to the T.
Wow, like a real Black Jam.
Yeah, so I didn't know why no one is really, really, really going in on this. So I got it all the information together, and we said, okay, we're going to bring him in. He's going to think he's just coming in. He's telling Sonetter, you're going to come and film me. Oh, I'm going to bring you in. And Sonetter was like, okay. So we brought him in, and it was epic.
We're going to show that video now. Let's go ahead.
You want to show it? You want to show it? Or you want
I remember that. I watched it live.
do you have it where you have it in a specific place, or did you just have it there?
Oh yeah, I had it queued up to where.
Yeah, go ahead. Bring it up then.
Well, within Terry and with Janae, shout out to her. All blessings and love. I can't remember exactly what she said, but it was so heartwarming. It was she already, you can see her the interview. You can see you can see the spirit rising, and she's sitting there. A couple times she didn't do the 3 thing. And something she said, like, I want to thank Sonetter. I want to thank Napah. She said, I want to thank Napah and Sonetter for what happened. And, that was such a good, it was like what we need, you know what I mean? Like a spark. Because I asked him during the interview, I said, oh, you're gods? You're a God? Okay. I said, what about them? I said, are they gods too?
Mm-hmm.
He didn't even, of course they were trash to him, just tools to use. And then he said, they're Orishas. Okay, got it. And then the next day, because they were breaking program. They were like, yeah, nigga, why are we gods?
They were always breaking program.
He was like, I'm going to elect a goddess. And in Terry, he told her, you're going to be the goddess. And then he did a mind thing with her. It was if y'all remember, he was like, so which one of these guys do you think looks the best? Playing with her head. And she said Solar. And that's when he humiliated her and said, you're not going to be the goddess. You're not going to be the goddess.
He sure did, girl.
And then after he did that, that was that night, he raped her. So she was.
That was right after that video. That was right after that.
Right after he raped
That
her.
she,
He raped her.
Napah is the woman that, and see what happens is Nateri is a Capricorn Sun, Gemini Moon. So you guys instantly clicked energy wise. Energy knows energy, and she came alive in Napah's presence, and he noticed that. And the fact, and if you listen to the testimony and you listen to how listen to her and certain people recant that night, and even he says, you know, I think it was Efaru who says it on Stan that she we had company or we were doing something and she was like being so like hi, oh I have to feel so close to you, oh I really, like it was this vibe that basically you guys are saying she was being too friendly to who this other person that was perceived not to be of the group, and that was a problem. And I never knew that person was potentially you. But yeah, potentially, yeah, you had made her feel alive, and they didn't like that. That's what I
heard. And you know what? When I heard that, even again, I don't want to misquote her, but it makes me feel so good. Now, did you cue it up to where I had queued it up to? I want to tell you,
pure comedy.
3502. That's the first time they came on, and the next, it had to be 2 days after he raped her. It was about 2 days. If we could line it up, maybe if I'm not correct.
Behavior.
But
y'all know he got life, right?
Oh, it's beautiful. Listen, you see him? do you see how she's looking? Do you see?
I mean, you said you're God.
Yeah.
Can you do anything like supernatural for us that we can see the God power?
Napah had me in the comments rolling.
60% is a lot. So
I will show you many things.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you.
And this year I will show you many.
Can you pause it 1 second? I want to say this. At this time, Sonnetter, look at Sonnetter. He's like, oh Lord, please don't make this man run. I was so loathing him with just a seething hatred, but I was just, messing with them a little like a cat messing with their dinner. And Sonnetter knows I wanted to just curse him out. I ended up cursing him out at the end. But I just want to let you know, I'm just asking him, well, where's your power? He's like, I'll show you many things. But anyway, I just want to tell you, I had so much hatred behind that smile for him, and he deserved it. But anyway,
we can tell. But that's good. He deserved that.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Is she playing?
Look at Terry's face, though. She didn't laugh.
Down.
Right. Because she know a G when she see one.
I love her.
Down.
No.
She got her head down, like almost in shame. Like, how dare he? So someone named Napah Shadah, even if you don't know nothing,
or your power,
the power that you are using to fix.
So, do you have special powers?
Napah was making him very uncomfortable.
Can you do anything like supernatural for us that we can see the power?
Go to prison.
60% is a lot. So
I will show you many things.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you.
And this year I will show you many things.
Oh, not right now.
Sorry.
Is she playing? Down.
What the
hell? Down.
Oh, no. Oh, that's good. So
those were his powers.
Or your power?
The power that you are using to speak your voice right now is my power.
Their power. Ooh,
you are talking to your higher self. You are talking to God.
Okay. Well, that's good. Okay.
I am the one they have been writing about from the very beginning.
Okay. So the power that they have as Orishas is to bow their head.
They don't have power. You don't have power. You have no power. Okay. But the power that you have, the air that you breathe, is because of me.
Okay. So
I am the Father. Don't you recognize my face?
Yes, I got it.
You do recognize me genetically. I am your programmer. I am your father. You know me. Look at my face. Remember me.
Right.
Remember me.
Okay. Okay. We just want to get to know you a little better because some of us know you.
Why y'all saw Sarnetta look away? Did y'all see that?
Sarnetta, you knew
Sarnetta
who I was
shifted
from the
his
very
eyes.
beginning. I have been downloaded from the very beginning.
Okay.
Young Barrow will work for me. Brother Polite will work for me. Sarnetta will work for me. You all will work for me. You all will worship me.
Who?
Eventually.
Okay, brother.
Are you
You are my children. I love you. I miss you. I told you I'd come back for you. I told you I'd come back for you. I'd never leave you.
This.
You disobeyed me, and I'm here now. I'm back. You paid your debt off, and I'm back. I'm back. Oh, you know me as Ra. But call me Ray.
Call you Ray.
Brother.
Call me Ray.
Three God. Let me ask you, brother.
You know what you can do? You can call me Papi Triso. Papi Triso. Papi Triso.
Let me ask you, did you take the vaccine shot, brother?
Wait a minute.
Oh my God. I remember when he asked that, I was like, clearly he has. Because, baby, what? And you could see Sarnetta. I don't know this man, but it looked like he was trying to measure his words, like maintain his professionalism, the interview. Like he was trying to figure out, how do I cuss? Do I even cuss him out? Like he was really making some life decisions watching this man be a whole fool on his show.
Wow.
And abuse people in real time.
Yeah, it's bad. That's a great interview. Y'all go watch it.
Oh, I have to tell them the secrets.
Oh, he's
God.
just disgusting. I mean, I can't.
I have to tell them.
It's Mr. Hashtag Doodle Fingers.
I'm so happy.
I have to tell them. I have to tell them.
So after
I
this,
can bring you back home out of the abyss that you are in.
Monica, turn it up. We know you got a fascination with this cult stuff. She's like, how are these women just sitting there and no one's like not saying nothing or?
He said,
Man, I don't have a fascination with it. I'm just looking at how beautiful these women look.
They are so beautiful. And
I mean, that's a fascinating thing. I ain't gonna.
They're very. They had the thing is, we hear brothers say, well, why the women? All women have that purity when they come into something spiritual, and then what happens is the men either build it up or they tear it down and they turn them into monsters. So all this stuff we hear, and you Genesis, you are really close. You've seen what's gone on with Velvet. You see the she can't get out of this Velvet. If you hear this, you're so beautiful. You gotta get out of the cycle of. You see how I went from IUIC to GMS? It's like that. It seems like even though you don't want to, if you don't step back and say, I gotta just love my soul child, you jump right into something else. And I don't know Solar, but I know she went from what I saw, Eligio, and it took her a long time.
But she mentioned it in court. I've had my back and forth with the young lady, even though I don't know this woman.
You got your back and forth with Velvet?
Yeah, but not personally. We've never met. We've never even spoken. I just was one of those people who really.
I remember you said you had a little back and forth with me.
I really wanted.
Internet. Let me tell you.
I do. I be trolling and I be about that life in real life. Like I want to talk about it. Let's talk about it. Not no fight, rah. That's
no. But you're a sweetheart at the core. But yeah, this is something.
I want to do it all in love. Whatever we do, it's going to be in love.
Take your time, as I said, and if you didn't hear, we have to, as women, we really have to start taking care of each other. Now, that doesn't mean there are some women out there who try to destroy me. And that doesn't mean you have to love on people who try to destroy you. But you know how if I hear something about a woman and I don't really know her, I wait and I find out. But I just want to say that. Go ahead.
Same.
That's good.
Same.
So how did you know he got sentenced today?
I saw it. I posted it on my community channel. Like every time I saw another Black woman, and so here's the thing. It was interesting to me to hear you say like, you weren't aware of like And I think most people weren't aware of the Nature Boy thing, because if you had to look at the content creators who were talking about it, the people who were most sensationalized, they had a tone that you had to really filter through the roasting and the variety show aspect and all that stuff to get to the concentration. Hence why the tea stood out to people, and people like Fundi Fee and people like Sugar Love, and Stenosa has the tea, and Sweet Mom. Like, it's so many. And guess what? You hear how many women I said? Mostly it was women who were actually on Nature Boy's, tail. And the men who in my opinion, the men that I'm aware that covered the story, they made it more entertainment than PSA, this person is dangerous in our community. Because personally,
I also want to say, look, the reason why I really was fixated on this, like when I was kept watching it, because I was like thinking to myself, like if he didn't have all these women standing behind him, supporting him and looking beautiful, nobody would want to hear anything that this nigga had.
Facts.
What did I tell you? Wait, Genesis. Remember what I said about the female energy? Didn't I say that? I said that in my live today. These women the men are feeding off of our energy, not just physical.
They can't help it. But we all feed off of each other's energy, but yeah, they can't really help it.
I was doing that because I want you to wrench me up, because I want to have a wrench so I can start regulating in your chat.
Baby.
You know how to do it. I don't know how to do it.
I do not know how to do it. I maybe could figure it out if I'm not in the
subscribing
with you guys.
Subscribing to my channel?
I don't be like when I go to chat,
a wrench or whatever. I don't know how to do it.
Oh, you don't know how to do it. You go into
gotta do it.
Someone else
I'm sorry.
doing the wrenches.
No, I don't know how to do it. I just know you gotta do it from YouTube. Like, you can't do it from StreamYard.
No, you go into the chat on YouTube, and then there's 3 dots to the right, and then how did you wrench everybody else?
Let me see. Hold on, let me.
You don't have to give me a wrench. Stop the cat. You trying to tell me you don't know?
See?
No, listen.
Now I'm looking at you.
Did it for me.
Even though I'm in the backyard.
Hold on, let me go. Let me do it. Hold on.
Are you subscribed to my channel? Oh yeah.
I should be. I tried to tag you in my post today, but you said you don't go by Napah no more, so I couldn't find you. I knew you said Rise.
My channel isn't my name. I'm Napah. That's my name. But Reality is Simulated Existence is my channel. Now I changed the channel.
Okay.
Name.
Okay. I did what you told me. I just added you as a moderator.
Bam, bam, boom. I love how she's like, you figured it out before.
Well, no, people had did it for me.
Good mommy shit.
No, people had did it for me. They like.
Oh, really? Who has a wrench that they can add wrenches?
Yeah.
Well, no, they told me they I don't know how they did it.
Somebody must be your manager. Oh, that's why.
When I had Zulu Vision, someone had did it for me.
I see you. No, I see you. I see you. You did it. Thank you. Listen, I'm going to say this. I appreciate being here. It's like at the end of the day, you see what happened with Nature Boy. You see how they say a woman brought him down. A lot of men are upset with her. A lot of men are like, he didn't grape her. He didn't grape her. They don't. It's like they act like they don't
understand.
Well, it's like they don't want to accept that he needed to be in prison.
He was sick.
Yeah, like that whole thing, and they can say that was performance and everything. But who wants to put out a performance if you letting women slap each other because this person didn't do and stand up and sit down and this, that, the other? It was like a domination, like a dominatrix thing. I think he was getting off.
It was definitely social BDSM.
Where did you guys see all this stuff? Was it in the trial?
It's online. It's online.
Well, yeah, this behavior is online.
Each other in the cult, yes.
Yeah, fighting each other on beaches. And you know what? Velvet did address Solar and Nature Boy for her family. And that's why I said it's back and forth with her but really what it is we as the public need to accept that we begin to emotionalize and idolize and project ourselves onto these complete strangers because we do identify, or we do resonate, or we have been there. Whatever the reason is, we are literally doing that thing that what they call fans do, fanatics. We get obsessed and hyper fixated, and so even in that, when I heard her do the part of the closing testimony and Velvet spoke, and she said, even my now new baby daddy, or however she paraphrasing it for her, basically saying we have children with these men, and our children are going to have these traits, and we're trying. So when you say we as the sisterhood, we need the community, we need the other mothers, because I'm sure her mom and those children's grandmother are not going to exactly know how to like deal with a kid that's already disposition to have certain super traits because the other parent is a narc. This shit changes your chemistry.
Yeah.
Well,
So you're making babies, you're breeding narcs only gonna make other narcs. That's just, I know what she's saying.
but you know
I
what makes
get what she's
you know
saying.
what
Yeah.
makes a narc really yes, there can be a genetic predisposition, but
The
when
mother
you're not,
hurting it.
excuse
I'm
me?
sorry. To me, it's like when I study what they say makes a narc, which is to me trauma to a person, usually at a young age.
Yes.
And I
Specifically when women
go ahead.
when you're not securely attached.
Yeah, you
Definitely
see what I'm saying,
trauma.
Napah? It's a mom thing. It's like some women should not breed. I'm a firm. I'm pro everything, but I'm also pro some of us should not be breeding. Just that simple. Especially if we say we believe what we believe about wanting better for humanity and the world.
Well, yeah, that's a different conversation. It's interesting. But I want to say thank you so much for letting me be here and talk about. I mean, I really didn't go too much into. At the end of the day, I do want to close up and say there are some beautiful Hebrew Israelite brothers and sisters, brothers who lead. I'm going to name some of them. My brother, Prince Charlandine. He's in Africa right now, in Tanzania. Some people don't say, they say Tanzania. He has a family. He teaches. He's part of the community. He's a leader. My brothers and sisters, my brothers who lead in Dimona, all the men who lead the despite the controversy, who are really, trying to exist in Israel, building a great existence. My brother, Zion Lex, he's another Hebrew. He's a good brother. My brother Maharakah, he leads. He still has, I think, Future of Israel, FOI, if I'm not sure.
Are they still in Israel? That one group with the
Yes.
Ben, they're still there.
Oh, Ben Ami passed away, but yeah, Damon is what I'm talking about. I just want to tell you the brothers who Elder Yara, he's a women's advocate. He loves his wife. He has daughters. Lots of brothers. He leads the Hebrew War Machine. Brother, even Alazar. People say, oh, he's from GMS and he was at a strip club on Passover. Alazar is a very good brother. There are a lot of brothers. Oh, Danya Allah. Yes. So yes, namaste to you.
Oh, namaste.
You
Namaste.
stole my book. Anyway, so that what I'm saying is we have to watch out with Abrahamic religions and all, but especially Abrahamic, because those are the religions that preach death and destruction if you're not following. So we have to be careful with these religions and first and foremost have a connection and a foundation of love and understanding that we're in a universal mind of God. Yeah, I know that sounds real free birdie, real hippie, but it's true. We're in a universal mind of God. And each one of us, this is taught now, this is Kabbalah. I have to say Kabbalah because people don't understand it.
And what's the difference between the Kabbalah and other things? What is the Kabbalah?
The Kabbalah is like mysticism, Hebrew mysticism, but universal mind of God isn't really Kabbalah. It can be seen, but what I'm about to say is there is one unfathomable God. And I actually say that's what I call the Most High, and I'd love to hear people pick that up, so I love it. But there's one unfathomable God, and it is an existence that we can't wrap our minds around. That's in Kabbalah, it's called the Ein Sof. And what happens with the Ein Sof in Kabbalah, the Ein Sof condenses self down to our existence so we can conceptualize. So when I say the unfathomable,
or even experience being God within ourselves,
everything like that. When you say experience being God, however, you already are God, because didn't God condense self down so you could be? See that?
Right.
Wow. I love it. I love when you look at there is a man who he's an astrologist and he does astrotheology. He's a teacher and a studier, He talks about all the religions, everything. He even goes back to help me out, the pygmy, the Twa.
So hold on, that's a question. Is astrology real, and what makes it even valid?
Listen to this. Before there was any writing, we had astrology first. Before, I love talking about this because it's like, you know what's fun is when you see it like keep on circling. It's like a mirror within a mirror, and you know it's real. That's what I was going to say. He said, when you see things that are there's a paradox or oxymoron, then you know it's divine. And that's what the people of ancient times, the teachers, the priests, the prophets, the prophetess. So listen to this, right? Before there was any book or God or religion, we existed, and we had to build each other up, right? We imagine this is our first day as a civilization, meaning scratch that. There wasn't a civilization. It was just us existing. We ate a certain way. We started eating. We started eating foods that made our brains develop exponentially, like 60% growth. And when that happened, that's when we fine-tuned our understanding. That's when it's like we were all over the place with because everything has consciousness, and it's like this. I'm talking about sound frequency, like, and then when we ate the right foods, our brains caught up with our consciousness, and it was like, duh, and we were on the right wavelength. Why am I saying that? Because that's when we came into the consciousness of, oh, God. Not, oh God, but oh God. And that's when we started to have that universal mind with each other. And in the universal mind, this is science, by the way, it's called the expensive tissue hypothesis. And when we had that brainwave, that funk, that we're vibrating on that same frequency, connecting with consciousness, right? That's when we realize God, and we also conceptualize God. See, there's a paradox. I realize God is outside of me. I conceptualize God is actually inside of me. But how can they both be true? They're contradicting each other, but they actually stay together and they work like oxymoron. So when we did that, I'm going all the way back to the beginning. What did we do first? We looked around at each other. We looked at nature, and we started to see God, our concept of something, because we're now we're connected to the consciousness, and we started to understand God, and we told stories to each other like I'm doing now. We said, the tree, we take fruit from it, we burn it, we bring it down, it gives us shade, it also makes weapons to kill us. Wow, the tree ... That's like an idea of animism, right? So stay with me. So then what else do we do in the natural world? At night, we sat together in our groups, and remember, there's no street lights, it's all darkness. But we made fires, and our fire burning here, we looked out into the darkness, and what did we see? Their fires burning there. We didn't know those groups. We weren't a part of those groups, but we understood. I've heard stories of that group. That group does this and that. Then in that fire that was burning in the distance in the dark, what other fires were burning in the distance? The sky. Get it? We looked up to the stars, and then we started to understand. See, that's the star that does this, and that's the star that does that. And I heard that the God's up there, and that's the star. Remember the other night that star did? Did you see it shoot across the sky? And then we built these stories up. And the phenomenal thing? You could be in one place. You could be in Asia. This is facts. You could research it. You could be in Asia telling these stories. I'm getting goosebumps. And all the way on the other side of the world, in South America, someone was telling a similar story. That's the amazing part of astrology. You can compare the astrological stories of ancient times, and they're so similar. And they say, how could this be? This is phenomenal. How did they say Uva Ursa over there, but then the other people said, the story of the sky, the bear, the sky bear, the God. How could it be possible? It's because when we as people, we say, oh, we create God. Yeah, we do. But guess what? God already exists. See the paradox? See the oxy? I contradict it, but it's true. See, we conceptualize. I understood when you learn something, if you learn a language, You know that language now, you. But that language already existed. But that language didn't exist for you till you learned it. So just because I say to the atheist, yes, God is in my mind, but that doesn't mean God's not real. And then the amazing part is explain the phenomenon, explain all of these spiritual things. We have a priestess with us, Genesis. She does, I mean, I don't want to say the wrong thing, I always mess up. I don't want to just say voodoo, but she's a priestess of spirituality, and she knows these things are real. I don't know, a lot about what you do, so forgive me, but I'm saying, how can these things happen? Because that's the inexplicable, that's the phenomenal. But at the core, scientifically, and I'm landing my plane, we all have one universal mind, but we all have our own individual concept, our own individual conceptualization. Did you see? There's another paradox. There's another, it's like the duality. I have my own conceptualization, but we are only one universal mind of God. That sounds like a contradiction, but it works. So
and you know what, and when I think about this, is the duality of the feminine versus the masculine, but really it's the feminine, and then the masculine comes from the feminine. So therefore,
really, it's just the feminine and the feminine. It's the duality of the feminine and the feminine.
and
looking at my own
right,
self, you feel me?
right. So
thank you for letting me ramble, y'all. I just was
that was beautiful. Like that was a beautiful ramble.
Happened?
And the difference is that like now some people will have that ramble and think that they are the Messiah and start a cult. But it comes naturally to us, and we don't have to like actually have people follow us with that. You could just like take the information and do what you must.
Yeah, we want to be in a circle. We don't want a line. And by the way, time is not linear. It's circular. So as women, women, we always have what do we call us? Let's gather around. We got the coven. Calm down, everybody. Like, I got her. I got the soundbite and the puzzle witch. But
coven, but you know what?
You know what I mean? But the women are always in a circle, right?
What is a coven? Is a coven a circle?
And
traditionally it's a
it's
circle
a place where
of
you
women.
Learn. Yes, with women. Hence why as soon as mother, to me, what happened is like instantly it's like Mother Napah is talking. So because of the nature of the conversation, I had little Offset go inside while I stayed outside in the backyard. But as soon as you started teaching, or as you put it rambling, I said, Offset, if you'd like to come outside and listen to teachings, you can come outside and play before I come in. And so at first we were war dancing while you were talking, but then now we both trying to get our breathing.
I was more belly dancing.
Yeah, exactly. Literally.
I'm just kidding. I'm joking.
We're listening to you. So that's to me what's happening. It's a moment for, like you said, education. The women are teaching, and our daughters. I just feel like a rich lady to know that my daughters have access to mentorship that matters with women of empowerment and power and discipline and love and kindness. Like,
Voodoo Babe, when she came up on my channel like 2 weeks ago or a week ago, she said, that women need to that people need to find other women, other female leaders to get your information, because then you don't have to deal with the patriarchy of it all.
Oh yeah.
So I think that there are certain people. It's almost like this whole thing with Nature Boy, with all these people, it's almost like the earth itself had to do away with certain people.
Yes. And
the mother is doing this. The mother, excuse me. Oh yeah, sweetheart. I just want to quickly. The mother is. I told you, she's like. It's just like when we have children. Oh, I've been giving to your brothers, and they keep on. They're hurting themselves and they're hurting you. I'm gonna give it to your sisters. That doesn't mean you're gonna be hurting brothers, but here's your sisters, and now your sisters, they've been showing me that they can do this. We're gonna try it. See, I'm saying it in the good way, where Princess like, we gonna get ready. I'm gonna make you. We gonna
get rid of all you niggas.
Let me turn off my camera.
We gotta get rid of all y'all niggas.
I want to let
that's
you.
Not
niggas.
smart.
Wait, hold on. Wait. Oh yeah. Wait.
I want to tell all you niggas. We gonna get rid of you, and we gonna have no goddamn penises anywhere inside. I can't do it anymore. You ain't gonna bring us back to niggerland. And I get her frustration, but that's not the way.
That is a little too accurate.
But am I lying? Wait, we kiss love to her, but see, she wants to lead. She wants to lead, but she's one of the sisters where we got to take her into the tent and love on her. Like, no,
we do need to love on Princess.
You stay here. We'll take her. You stay here.
If
treat
she
her.
Let us
Put the fans, and then let us go out and do the work.
I volunteer as tribute.
Yeah, so she's a sister who she needs to go lay down and rest, and we understand. No, I'm telling the truth right now. A man, see, this is and Jim.
I'm laughing because I'm trying to take the edge off of the truth.
No. We should laugh. We're laughing for the therapy, but I almost called you Gemini. Genesis. Yeah. The Gemini knows. Genesis, I told her this, and oh yeah, you know this too, because this is the thing. You continue to fill. I'm filling up, and then boom, we break. And when we break, everything breaks. And when everything breaks, it's like a storm. You know, the Tasmanian devil and Looney Tunes. And they say, "What? Why did she do that?" You know why. You know what you did. You know you built it up. You know you wound her up so tightly that all she could do was just lose it. So my point is with my sister Princella, she let herself be deluded, thinking, oh, I should be leading the women, and I'm gonna go dress like a man today. Girl, hold on now. We're not getting rid of men. Men aren't a virus. And who was to?
And if they are, and see, here's the thing with that. See, to me, my thing is like I was Princellaite, if you will, but I'm very smart, and like even during my own sessions with her, I had already heard of what she was saying. There was so many people who were already teaching that men weren't providers and protect. So that's cool too. That's cool. But my thing is like you're not going to teach me about love and then not follow your own principles, and that's hard for me to say because I like her. I still like her, but I can't support I ain't gonna support it on the strength of if we're going to sit in the seat as a teacher. If we're going to say that we're teaching women anything as a woman, and you're addressing the subject of your brother, your son, your husband, your grandfather, your nephew, anything that has a scrotum between its legs and a specific brain pattern, if we're addressing that subspecies of what I am, which is female. So if we're talking to our first trans sister, which is the whole problem to begin with, and she feels some kind of way, okay, he feels some kind of way, we're not going to misgender anyone. We're going to be respectful.
Stay on your what you're saying.
We're going to be respectful. But I'm saying it's satire for me because I don't want to offend anyone because it's all very offensive here on this plane when we have to talk about it plainly. So being that we are of the science and the knowing and the high-mindedness that men come from us, and if they are the worst thing, if they are the rapists, the murderers, the whatever these titles we put on them that make them so profoundly retarded, they would have had to have gotten it from their mother.
Yeah. Did you watch my show on that? I did a whole stream on that.
This is something that I came up knowing. I've been learning. Man, shout out to so many women who stood as mentorship and had the profound wisdom to cuss me out. Some of them I ran from, some of them I stayed with, and we grew past the moment. The point is, when we really say, I want to be there for a sister or my mother, can we really withstand the truth when we stand with each other? Or are we going to placate each other? Because then when people call you a grifter, and when people say you're disingenuous, and when people call you a straight out liar,
then not only that, but you're calling other women bitchs, you're no better than any man. Like, well,
why am I the only one? I just noticed this. I want y'all to turn your cameras on.
Hey, wait. My thing is,
look me in my face when you say that.
You could call me a bitch if you know what that means. And when I was in her chats, when that conversation was happening, I was putting that in chats, and she never I'm not saying I need a shout out from nobody because what she has just recently discovered in the last 2 years, as far as information, I've been on that.
Who are you
tip for a
talking
minute
about?
now.
Who are you talking
As
about?
far as the information of like what men are, we put a message with a person, and sometimes there's like, that's why they call them messengers. People be having messages, but it's for me and you to, like you say, have our own personal relationship, do research, do actual study, hold people to their you were educated, that mean I can ask you questions. Oh, you were debated, that mean we could go toe to toe.
But she wouldn't
Whatever
even
you,
debate Napah. Like that was what's crazy is that as much as she
I
like
didn't know who Napah was at the time. I thought she had a fair shot, in all fairness.
yeah, she wouldn't even debate Napah. So bottom
You
line
know
is
what?
that like
No,
so
let me tell
Now
you,
we
like,
talking it's grown women. I feel a
come on,
little
let's be
differently.
real. Let's talk.
you ain't
Let's
got
really
no
talk
fair
some
Feel
real
shot with
stuff.
me.
differently now,
Prince
you
Ella would
know.
not debate Napah because she was afraid that Napah was going to expose her on her everything that she thought about, and she was trying to build her audience to make money. And because she did not want to be ridiculed, but she let the men ridicule her, she got on Satan the Sinner and got ridiculed and called a baby mom a single mother and
Thank
all this other
you.
stuff.
So cute
But
to
I'm
me.
sure Nepal would have never
And
hit
you know,
that
now he's
low, but
weaponized
Never.
her
then
own
tried to like act like I
pride.
was setting her up
Thank you.
for
Talk on it,
failure.
girl. Bring it. Bring it out.
So that's what I'm saying. It's like these type of people that like want to start these kind of cult like followings, but then they get too full of themselves and forget what the message was to begin with, and then the message gets distorted, and then I don't know what the word is. It gets disgust like not disgusting, but the message starts off
Tainted.
It gets tainted, and so now now she's at a point where she has to backtrack and not be on that same thing because people are starting to like probably not want to support her no more. Now she's getting like backlash for the same thing, and she kind of was coming across like the female nature boy, to be quite honest.
God, I gotta
you
get
know,
my
to be honest,
let me get my bombs out. I gotta get
fell
my
off
bombs
right
out.
around the bitches.
Let me get my
and
bombs
y'all.
out for this girl right here.
You
Go
know,
ahead, finish.
when she was calling everyone bitches and hoes, I was there, right? And I was even trolling the other women who stated that they didn't want to be called that, because I understand I understand what those words mean if we go back and we can get into antiquity and women, what we really are, and these titles and labels that have now been like demonized and bastardized, but actually holds so much divine feminine right and power.
Well, I understand like the dog star and all this other stuff and the female dog
Girl,
and
like
all that
it
stuff.
could be such a beautiful if a bitch
BITCH
let it
is
be beautiful.
the
You know
dog
what I'm
star.
saying?
Like so,
But some
and for
people not
those
on
that
that.
don't understand what that means, that a BITCH is also is a female dog. Okay, even though I just said it. I mean, YouTube is gonna probably red thing this anyway. But
I'm so
the
sorry.
dog star is like it's like a actually the Dogon tribe, and then there's the dog star. Then there's like the Sirius B. Is it Sirius the dog star? Whatever it is.
And then there's
So
some Hindu connections out there with some thuggery.
Sirius is the dog star.
But yeah, but
right,
it still comes
which
back
is
to
a
that.
female. Like okay, so if you call someone a BITCH, it actually you can say, hey, well, yeah, I am a
It's a
feminine,
high
divine
honor if
feminine.
you know what
Right.
you're vibrating on. Exactly.
However,
So,
I don't think that she meant it like that. She did not
no,
mean it.
she
She's not
didn't.
calling people the dog star. She's calling people
No, she's
dumb.
not.
Y'all are stupid. Y'all need to listen to me. Y'all don't know what y'all talking about. Y'all. That's why y'all need me to think
Accusing
for
women
you.
of things
And
that,
that's acting like a
man.
pimp. And she's talking to the people like a pimp. And we don't need another woman to get up here
And we don't need
and
nobody
you tell it.
demonizing us for
Hold on.
the
Let's
same
hold on.
behavior
Oh,
that
listen
they're
to this.
having. Don't
Listen to
be
this.
having the behavior and then tell me I'm having a behavior that's effed up and you over here have the same behavior behind closed doors. You can miss me with the bullshit. Some of us is psychic in real life. How about that?
And let me tell you this is that how are you going to like call people BITCHs and talk this mess and then say that they're all like being a part of patriarchy and their minds are patriarchal, but then you're executing things in a patriarchal way. You're dressing up like a man. You didn't change your whole thing,
I didn't
baseball
care
capped
about
out,
none of
you
that,
know.
Monica.
No,
For real.
listen.
You know
Oh
what
yeah,
I
let me
cared
finish.
about?
No,
Man.
let me finish my sentence. Let me finish my thought.
Okay, you're
Let me
right.
land my
You're
plane.
right. I'm
Right.
emotional about it.
But
I'm
you're
emotional.
talking about patriarchy, but everything that you're doing, you're moving like a man. You know what I'm
Come
saying?
on.
The
So
worst kind of man at that. Like you're not even meaning. I took her courses. I did everything she offered. I bought it damn near twice, and even 2 consultations with her was in her book study. I respect what the young lady's doing, but you're not gonna tell me that you're teaching something, and then if in the book it says that one of the components of love is seeks understanding. When these women said they didn't want to be called bitches and hoes, I was there in real time. You ain't never seek no understanding about that. You decided to roast them And some of us who are very cult-like minded, like myself, troll those bitches right with your ass.
Can I talk on that real quick? And I hear you. Let me talk on that real quick.
That's when I left, y'all.
You want to hear what the problem is?
Mute.
The problem is with sisterhood. It's like the parable of, Christ says the mustard seed fell in the stones and then it didn't, and the birds ate it up and it just didn't take root. Sisterhood is like that. It's so great. But the killer of it is when one woman says, because we naturally appeal to men, whether we want to say we do or not, even homosexual women do it.
Yes, absolutely.
And the problem is there's always that one woman who thinks, I'm going to get the men to the power from the men. I want the men to approve me. I want the men. This is what happened with Princella. She came to Sonetter's channel, wanted to have Sonetter build her up. She didn't want to have shit to do with me. But I'm the one that she should have been thinking of, because I'm the one who would have given her the most power. And then she goes over to these other men, like Genesis said, Satan sent her. She knew she was drawn to patriarchy and to men, but she preached women power, women power. Sisters will come in together and they'll say, I love you, let's work together. And there'll always be one who's weak and says, I'm going to let the man tear everything down. For instance, I myself, have had women who I've said, and I do it to this day, and I'm trying to stop myself a little bit, not stop, but chill. I'll bring any woman that I think is amazing. Sonetter, you gotta get her, you gotta see her. And he'll be like indifferent, like, man, okay, fine. And then I'll get her there. And I'll be like cheerleading. He's like, nah, like he'll get her in the show, and be like, oh, she is boring. I'm like, no, and I'll be cheerleading for her. Go, no, she can do it. No, you don't, just give her another chance. And she don't even know shit about that, right? I had this happen with a sister who I thought was a goddess, an angel. She was a sweet woman. She was a sister of mine. She's now nothing but a backstabber and a piece of shit to me until she comes back and says, yes, I shouldn't have done you like that. The moment she thought that I was not in the picture, she went and she didn't try to be with Sonetter, but she was like, I want to be the co-host and let me do these things. And he was like, but then my point is, not only did she do that, she was putting me down. Oh, yes, Sonetter, she's bad. And so a lot of women do that. She's not atypical. Even if you bring a sister up and you say, I'm sisters, we're all three here sisters. It's like always a Judas thing. And there's always one woman who goes, it's a sisterhood, but I'm going to go with a man. And Princella was one of those women. She thought, remember you on the phone, Genesis?
Yeah.
I'll talk to Sonetter. Why is Napah on the line? Wait, bitch, I thought you said men were a virus. So, excuse me. See the language I use? Because she's not a bitch. Wait, she's not a bitch and she's not a hoe, but I'm talking to her. She wants to be manly. She wants to be on that energy. You want to turn on me for a man? Not that Sonetter was on Genesis' side and my side, but my point is, oh, you want to go in that road? You want to be manly? I'm going to tap into my masculine. Mm-hmm. Oh, so because I'm on the phone, now the conversation can't go. You're a fake ass bitch. Excuse my language. Oh, well, sorry.
It is.
Sorry.
Hey. I didn't
mean bitch. I mean like YouTube. I meant
she's the dog star.
Beach. I meant dog star, like a pregnant dog. So in case you want to I know. Excuse me. But my point is, there are a lot of women who do that, and they don't even mean to. And guess what? I don't even hold it against them. There's one sister who did the same thing, but I love her, and I said, okay. It's like, but after a while, I said, you know what? I'm not building any more women up.
And the men
as much as we want to try to do things with sisters, there is that element of sisterhood that we have to actually take accountability for.
Yeah,
there is that backbiting aspect, and there is that like as much as we want to say stuff,
talk about it.
But no, is that one part of us is like, oh yeah, the patriarchy. But when you try to get a room full of women to do anything together,
And we talking about
it
the
turns into a
matriarchy?
freaking nightmare. And I'm not gonna
Okay.
lie. By the time that whole thing is done, everybody to talk bad about each other, and it never can
But
come
if we could
together.
do
And
that
you
in
know, a
love
man
and
will
still come
not
back
saw
to a
better. No, I'm not.
solution.
Wait, real quick, I want to clarify this for the brothers. I'm not against men. Some men will be like, no, like Sonetter's a type. You'll be like, nope, it's gonna be equal. Don't do that. Don't talk about that. He's good. He's beautiful with that. But I'm gonna talk about some men will facilitate that. They'll come into a sisterhood. We'll be minding our business, like we're fine, and then they're like, but let me take. He'll scope out the one who's weak. Come on, can I talk to you for a minute? No, you the one who's running all this. You know what I mean? And then he'll send her back in to just tear the whole thing down.
Yeah.
And then, but then what he'll do, he'll talk to one. Just women do it, and men do it too. He'll talk to
Women
one
do, and women
person.
are great at it.
Then he'll go to the other one and say, you know, she said that you don't know what the hell you doing with them with the account. And then, and so we need to be able to be like men. Men will do instantly. Men will go to each other and say, this person said this and this to me. Is this true? But
Yes,
women
for
will
sure.
just be like, and we'll be like, what's wrong? Nothing. You know what I mean? So we need
do.
to work on sisterhood if it's possible. I don't know.
Can I say this too? Because it's like these certain types of women look for all the validation and be all up in a man's face for the information, the knowledge, the attention. And those same men that they were so easy to just be themselves, let their hair down, if you will. Look what Zulu TV did on YouTube, putting her motherhood business out there, talking about her putting food on table and not watching her children, sleeping with her mouth open on Monica's. This is on YouTube.
Who did that?
I don't like to mention. I don't. You know.
So they said
But the
because wait,
people who lived
Princella
in
slept with
Monica's
her
house
mouth
and
open.
disrespected her
Wait,
hospitality.
she
those
said
people.
Princella slept with her mouth open.
Yeah, on Monica's couch.
What does
It's
that
saying-
have to do with anything, though?
You know what it has to do with being, and you were so comfortable to lay your big age self up in somebody else's house with your mouth open, getting you a good old.
Who taught? Wait,
Let me finish.
Give me the
Napah,
background.
Napah,
Who said this?
Let me
Shaka Zulu, Shaka
the
from
point
Tribe
I'm
Zulu.
getting to, her baby was running around and other people had to attend to her child while she was in a deep sleep. That's what I'm saying with the motherhood and the sisterhood.
Well, maybe she was exhausted. Did you ever think about that?
I don't find nothing wrong with that.
Exhausted.
That you know what?
But that's
Sometimes
my
she was
thing.
tired.
That's my thing. You have a village of people who did come to you and you didn't even disturb your slumber, put a blanket on you, took care of you, and took care of your baby like it was their baby. And you go on the internet and talk about men don't do this or people didn't do that. You're not even living that life.
But wait a minute. Wait, we went from talking about her sleep with her mouth open and then what?
No, basically the way that she kind of flipped.
Because I've had many nights where I've slept with my mouth and bare ass open.
No. What she's saying is, Napah, she's saying that people were very hospitable to her. People lifted her up. When I saw her content, I put her in the right places. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I already.
And then when she was at my house, her child was taken care of. I mean, toys, everything. But I mean, that's personal. But I'm just saying.
She talked about you. I'm trying to clarify what we're talking about. I missed something because I looked at my phone.
She mentioned it. She said some old BS online, but
about you?
And then she also told me I didn't have a backbone because I wouldn't do what she felt like I should do. And
kick Kevin and me off of the panel for what, bitch? For what?
Because you pander to men and you are a pick me, and Kevin he cussed out that one woman and people didn't feel safe. And bottom line is that okay, if we listen, this is the thing. If we're gonna really do this, if we're really gonna talk about the patriarchy and the motherhood and the fatherhood and try to come together, because I don't really believe in separatism. I don't believe that all the men needs to be eradicated. I believe this is time for coming together, because the way things are going in this society, you're gonna need men. Women are going to need men to protect
and men are going to need women
because we have children. You know what I'm saying? We give birth to children, and I mean, you can have your gun and everything like that, but if another family has a man and they attack you, what's your defense? You know. So bottom line,
get all the women, the other family. When women are drawn to men. and men are
Yeah,
drawn.
that too.
So my thing is that like, and I'm not like a pick me at all, but I'm just saying like we have to be real. We have to be
Like
realistic.
she said,
you know?
we are able to identify resources, and we know what our son is. So he's our resource. He's our first resource we created onto ourselves for our own vanity. Come on, lad. This is basic. This is what we do if you know the knowledge. This is lightweight.
And I hate that this has turned into a thing like that. But I'm just saying, with Nature Boy going, we don't need any more messiahs popping up.
Grifters. We don't need no more grifters and psychopaths.
Okay,
And
he's
people
gone.
Some guys we gotta get rid of.
People with emotional and mental disturbances. And I got my own problems. Get some therapy. Everybody should have a good therapist, like, and a good yoga person and a good massage.
Well, so far they've gotten Rashad Jamal. They got some other people.
People need to pay
They got
attention.
NB Nature Boy. So we don't need another messiah popping up from the other side. Then
I want to see them all go. I want to get some of the crumbs too.
It's a reaping going on, and people should be paying attention.
Anybody doing revenge porn, I want to see you go to prison for 30 years.
Big time. Yes, that's not right. So
if you're underage doing it, not that. But if you're a grown ass man doing it, yes, I want to see you in prison. I'd say if you're over 30 and you're doing revenge porn, I want you to be in prison forever.
You're so kind. I'm giving it 16. If you're in 2024, 16, and you do revenge porn, yourself need to go sit somewhere for a little while and with some good therapy and get some.
I say 30 years.
You think just meaning they just get 30 years, no matter what age they are.
No. If they're over 30 and they're doing revenge porn, I think they should be in prison for 30 years. If people can if they could get 3 strikes in California for just any offense, you know what I mean? Then I think that's not fair, right? Because people could steal some diapers and then they'll be in California, get the 3 strikes, and they'll be in prison.
Better not steal no diapers. You better go to the shelter or figure out how.
My point is, if you break the crime, if you do the crime, you can do the 3 strikes.
It's a cold
I don't see why a man because you know what, they were laughing at me, and I do have an organization. I have to share the information.
Yeah, please do.
Let me say this. Let me say this. That is sexual assault. That's a cyber sexual assault. People
is.
Why is it okay for you to share something private, my body, for other people to look at and laugh and use?
And you know what? I want to also get into this too.
And this is for our daughters, guys.
No, before you go, I also want, because it's 2:06 now. It's 2 hours and 6 minutes. But I do want to touch on this because you've experienced I've experienced it. There is a big propensity for especially these mentally ill people to get online and say some of the most foulest things, make up lies. Like revenge porn is the least of the worries when people's mouth can say things that are untrue. A lot of the people that are on my panel have had some of the worst things. When I did that meeting of the minds, have had some of the worst things said about them. Kevin Wesley has had bad things said about him. With his situation, you have had bad things said about you. Like people have told
Sydney Starr.
Yeah. And even in myself, especially in my thing is there needs to be a rule against that. Like that's another form of grape, is to grape somebody with your mouth, lying on them, saying like that they did
slander.
They've been slandering. So talk about some of the slander that has been going on.
I will talk about it. That's another thing. Let's start working together. First and foremost, I do want to do the revenge porn because of people have killed themselves. Excuse me. Oh God, you can come on and get your lick back on my channel. Say a couple things if you want. I don't mean to say
it's already yellow. I'm sorry. That dollar sign is a yellow. Okay.
No, and I'm sorry, but you know what though? You know what? You can ask them to review it if you are honest with you.
Tell them it's educational purposes only, and it's just some spicy women.
I want to unalive. People have unalived themselves over revenge porn, and then slander.
Yeah,
slander is illegal. It is. Moshe, are you coming in? Because I really want her to come in. Y'all are gonna go. This is like 3 power goddesses and the Most High Spirit of the Mother and the Father. When she comes in, it's gonna go. It's gonna be like that nuclear explosion. Like we all gonna be like. So
look at you getting all excited about a nuclear explosion.
Moshe, please come up.
Supernova energy.
Yeah,
I
but I
love
want to
it.
say this. I want
Come
to say,
up, Moshe.
Come on.
come on, Moshe.
Come
She's
up,
busy.
Moshe.
She's coming home, but she says she's going to hit the panel. But I'm going to
Oh,
say
this
this:
beautiful energy.
the slander is already very, 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 very illegal. But with YouTube, and I got to say that people get mad with Black people. There are a lot of our people who act like children. And why am I saying that? Because I hold my people to a higher standard, right? But when I see your behavior on YouTube, I have you up here and you're here. You come in and you think, I can do anything I want. You're an adult. You're an adult. Why are you up here lying on people? Why do you think it's just all fun? I know children who don't do those things. I know children who say, why would somebody do that? That's so weird. You'll get in trouble. Children. They do it on, you know what I'm saying, on TikTok, like, I can't post that. I can't do that on TikTok. I stay with the rules. There's children who don't do these things. But we have grown 30, 40, 50, sometimes 60-year-old people up on YouTube lying. Oh, Genesis is a child abuser. That's so detrimental.
Man.
And then you try to really make people's children, you're trying to break her family up. She's already had trauma. She's already lost a baby. She's already had the father of her children pass away. Now you want to come in and traumatize children more, and you say you're for your people. So that's my thing. Slanders, we gotta stay strong on it. We can't. I had sisters tell me when I said, revenge porn is SA. You know,
it absolutely is.
And then they say, no, it's not. Yes, it is. Yes,
what?
it is.
How could another person not see that?
Because it hasn't been. But this is why, yeah, because in the books it hasn't been considered. But we're in a virtual reality. Yeah, no, we're in a virtual reality. We have to. I'm going to send you. We'll do a stream. I don't want to do it on here.
Yes, we need to have, because I've been tracking this conversation as someone who wants to work in the metaverse, and I've been a part of other types of panels, and I've seen certain information out there about the questions being asked about when we're in these virtual spaces, especially spaces where there's also children running around in these virtual spaces on the headset or whatever. Because we say virtual spaces, but someone real is holding the headset somewhere in the world in real life, a person.
Who, God?
Well, we are a part of God, but you
know, it's a bunch of God cells.
God today, what are they?
But you get exactly, you get what I'm saying. And then people are doing sex, they're doing actual things and raping people in the metaverse and grabbing and being, like you say, that kind of way, the SA way, virtually.
Wait, I'm talking God. Hold on, God said. Wait. Oh, God said no more SA on the internet, and so
nowhere. We need to deal with that. That needs to be an offense
of destruction and judgment. To
and I'm fanning the flames of that. I'm the angel coming, fanning the flames. Like, yes, I'm here as a throne to help make sure it happen. Like, we're not doing that. If you feel like you gotta have that kind,
you know, be able to say that someone ate babies and that you.
Oh, that's me. Are you talking about me?
Yeah, like
eight
come on,
babies. What are we?
That she eats babies when she.
Don't all women eat babies?
What happened last night?
When you get grown and you start. I'm sorry, that's not what we're talking
about. Let her tell me.
I want to get back to the interview. There's a Hebrew man, but he was Torah only. He's a Torah only brother. He's severely mentally ill, and he says when I didn't want to marry him, and he saw me on HOK. He just lost it and he started calling me a witch, like babies. Now that because everybody's like, oh, the pedophilia. They just laugh and they play with pedophilia like it's a joke. And then he said, Napah, you told me that you lost your doula and your midwife license for pedophilia. I never told him that. I did a stream one time and they said, because I said, if you want to consume your placenta, it's absolutely fine. I've helped women prepare their placenta.
That's so normal.
But a lot of people were like, you shouldn't be a doula. You shouldn't be a midwife.
What?
They said, we should get your license taken. And
because then you said it's okay to eat placenta?
Yeah, nothing about pedophilia. He twisted it and said, oh, you told me that it was pedophilia.
What?
And then he sits and grabs the Torah and he's like, I swear on the Torah.
Oh my gosh. Now we definitely know you lying. If you need a visual aid for me to believe you telling the truth, it don't matter what it is.
There are some dumb people who say, "Oh, he swore in the Torah, so he must be telling the truth."
I thought they were saying something actual by that rumor, like they were being funny, like they were trolling you, meaning like, you know what I'm trying to say. I thought it was a reference
on the Ariel music box. On all that is mermaidish and of the oceans and seas.
You know that mermaids is witchcraft. You know, Mami Wata is witchcraft.
And you know also that we're talking about the
it's that Mami Wata, you know.
I swear to the God of all mermaids and Syrian. I would never ever say that. So y'all do believe me, right? Wait, hold on. You don't believe me? Hold on. Let me see what Ariel said. What'd you say?
Under the sea.
I swear to the goddess Ariel.
Under the sea.
I said it's for like
y'all don't get. She's sitting right here looking at me. Yes, she is.
For you, this is my daughter's music box.
Look, I said.
And then they said that white woman, but I want to tell you on a serious level, when we talk
she
about
said, "Ooh, she want one."
the red hair. People say, "Oh, that's called." Look, it's not about a race. We're talking about people and like what was seen as like deep thinkers, divine. And they also had a different type of a very, very fiery energy or very, very powerful energy. And especially the women. That's ancient history. That's not just
naturally occurring.
And guess what? It didn't matter. African, whatever you want to call it. It transcends all different phenotypes, so to speak. You know, we have red bones, right? We have those.
Yeah.
You might be a red bone, or I don't know. You turn your camera on, we're gonna see. You got the hair.
Let me see.
You got
it's
you might
I can't be. I come from some yellows, some reds, and some browns, and I was getting some more. I have the dark brown hair. Now it's like almost all gray.
Oh yeah. But I'm
illuminated.
sister and my brother have that orange hair. It gets darker when you get older.
My daughter has orange hair. I have an orange haired daughter.
But that's what I'm saying. That's the spiritual side of it. When you look at it, it's very interesting. I love red hair. That's why thank you, Oya, for picking my picture.
It was so beautiful. I was like, why is she so fine though? Like I had a whole 5-minute conversation with Monica about.
You looked like so much. That was you earlier before we got started.
Yeah.
Oh my God. You know, I thought that was your daughter.
No, my daughter. No, my daughter.
That's why I said you look so much older.
No.
I was like, and you know what? I just quietly felt so happy because I'm one of the people I naturally look young. So I like when people say I look older. Like,
no,
I don't want to be perceived as a 21-year-old. I'm 43. My daughter's 25. I'm grown.
I thought you were Genesis' daughter, so that's why I was like, you are a grown woman. But I want to ask you.
Hold on, I ain't that goddamn old. That could have a 40-year-old.
You look young too. What you talking about?
Are you an air sign? You are an air sign, right?
Who, me?
Wait, Moshe, you got to come in here, and she's a sister.
You talking to
the Bible? She gonna come in here like, okay, let's stop all this foolishness. I'm talking to you.
I like that. Bring it in. You know, I'm a forever student.
But wait, are you an air sign?
My chart is predominantly fire, air, in equal high amounts, and then Earth is sprinkling there.
What's your
my rising is Leo.
Oh yeah,
my rising is Leo.
And then what about where's the air? Aquarius.
The air is prominently placed throughout the chart, and then my third house is lit up with like a 5-planet stellium. So
you're not, Gemini.
I love Gemini energy. It just
you don't have any, right?
No, she's a Capricorn.
I'm a Capricorn sun. Yeah.
You have a lot of Gemini energy, though.
I know, and then it's mixed with a lot of this Plutonian energy that I have. It's like this
maybe the Gemini energy. I'm just misunderstanding it.
It might be Virgo. It might be Virgo.
No, Virgos are very reserved.
And my progressive sun is Aquarius, so I'm a little quirky.
There it is. I think I see what I'm sensing is a lot of the leader, like really the dominance of the Leo.
I'm a Leo first, second houser, rising.
One time I got on a panel with one of these sisters. She was trying to challenge me, breaking down the Bible, saying Jesus is a serpent in the garden. Moshe, I say Jesus is a serpent in the garden, Moshe. Yeah.
Hey, look, check this out. They also said
I like it though.
They also said that the devil is a woman.
I love it, all of it. See, I've done this. I like yes, okay, whatever. How whatever.
The devil is
We're-
women. First off, devil is just
It's
means
just some
liar.
first cause stuff. You can blame me all you want. Blame it
Devil
on
means
me.
liar.
Say it's my fault.
Well,
It's
Yeah.
2 hours and 20 minutes now. I think I'm going to go over to my channel and do an after hours thing.
right. You know what?
Ooh,
Let's all
okay.
go for it. All 5 of us that's in here. You know. So,
Oh,
5
no,
is the number of change. That's numerology.
It's still lit. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's
I
5
mean,
is the number of change.
You
Like
need to come over to my channel now.
they gonna see it. Trust me.
5th house. This is light play.
They
This
don't
is
touch
we
the
having a good
replay.
time.
We should call Amber while we're online.
Yeah, we need.
Who's
Listen,
Amber?
I've always
call
wanted
Amber.
to. I've always wanted to do a female panel, a women's panel, and there's a guy named Napah Shadah. He wants to talk about toxic masculinity and toxic femininity. That's going to be the next panel we do coming up. And so I would love to have
be
like
fun.
have the men come up and then the women come up. We're going to talk about both toxic masculine and toxic female.
I think those terms are so funny, Monica. Like I don't even know how to take that. But yeah, I would like to hear what other people have to say about it and learn more about.
What he's saying is that like he feels like that women no longer want to. They don't like. There's no slow music in the club anymore. They don't.
Yeah,
if you tell
that
a
shit
woman,
is whack.
Hey, good morning, queen. They don't want to be called queen no more. If you say
I may say that, but I may not. It depends how I'm feeling.
You know what I'm saying?
You can say good morning, but leave the queen shit off of it. I don't need all that.
What's wrong with that though? That's not right. That's
no, because you know what's wrong with that to me? I'm not a queen. Like I'm not this lifetime anyway. Like I'm just Oya, and that's enough. That's more than enough. I don't have to be a queen to be enough.
Let me see if the sister's gonna come on. If not,
come on, let's go over to the Napah Shadah. But you get what I'm saying, Monica? Like I don't need all that extra shit. Like you just saying good morning with a nice smile. I like that.
I'm gonna start a live, and then you gotta come
okay.
over.
Okay.
No, you gotta
what's
put
the
the
channel
link.
name again? Yeah, what's your channel name?
Put the link in the chat.
Wow.
Look at her. Look at on the fire. Just say it.
Did you see me? You look like what?
A Gemini go Gemini.
Reality is
Did you
simulated.
just ask me what the name of my
Rise
channel is? Wow.
It's called Reality is Simulated Existence Rise Channel.
It's a Rise
Reality. Okay. Yes. Oh, ooh, reality is simulated. Reality is simulated existence. Reality is simulated.
We are in a simulation.
Existence.
Yeah.
Oh,
let me start it
sure,
now.
absolutely.
Start it now and drop it in your.
Okay,
in your
okay.
Can I do that?
Ooh, that's dope. Okay, I'm gonna drop down, you guys. Okay, I'll see you there.
Okay. So before I drop it in, I just want to say thank you once again. Okay, at the end of the day, yes, there's a lot of toxicity in the cult that I was in. And guess what though? I still love, I still identify. With me, I'm different though. I say anything that I've claimed, I still identify with it. Anything. Catholicism. If I claim Hebrew Israelitism, what else have I claimed?
Whatever you claim, all is all. There's good in everything. It's just a matter of what you.
Yeah, and I don't abandon it, but I do realize the things that were negative that held me back, and what also in it that I took to strengthen me. So
what did you say on the panel? You said if you like something, take the meat, spit out the bones. That's the biggest thing.
And wait, and keep the bones. Don't throw them away, because later on you might need those bones to make some bone broth. So, but that's it. Peace and love. Let me start.
Wait. Before we end, you have to say. Wait, you have to say. So do your shout out, but then we have to do our ending thing, and that is that I'm Napah Shadah. This is alchemizing energy, bringing darkness to light. So do your shouts out, and then.
It's a lot like my thing, but okay. No,
hey.
I'm Napah Shadah. Move that thing off the bottom.
Okay. Well.
Oh no, leave my channel up there. There you go. I'm Napah Shadah, and this is alchemizing energy. Wait, take 2. I want to say something. Peace to the darkest minds of the light. I am Napah Shadah, and this is alchemizing energy, bringing darkness to light.